All right, chat, welcome in, welcome in. We are live, and we are going to jump into the album review very quickly because I am excited to get fired up and get into this one tonight, chat. Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist are back, of course, with Alfredo 2 linking up once again and continuing the great collaboration from 2020. Alfredo. I mean, we could almost spin back Alfredo just like his anniversary. Should we do that quickly? Pause. Hey, whoa, hey, yo. I guess we already kind of working our way through it as well. Should we just fire up 1985 and get cooking while we wait for Alfredo number 2? Because I guess I haven't necessarily looked at the runtime of Alfredo 2. I don't know if we're looking at, like an hour-long type project or if we've got another 10-song, half-hour ordeal. The only things I know for certain about Alfredo 2 is, of course, I saw that they released the single. The single is 1995 AO. So the sequel continues, chat. I mean, they're in their creative bag right there. I saw the title for that. I saw that they have, because they dropped the track list. So I guess I saw the graphic, but I didn't really look at the track list. But I saw another post that said they collaborated with Jid. So I know that he's a feature on the album. And I saw the thumbnail of a short that said that Freddie Gibbs dissed academics. So I guess I know those three things so far about Alfredo 2. Otherwise, everything else will just be instant reactions as we approach here. But again, these two linking up, Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist, is a big deal because I also, of course, I mean, as you do when these guys drop an album, I had Carlito's Way on earlier today. Shout out! It's one of the it's making a case for a first team all Tubi movie. I know we've talked about first team all movie actors, but it's been a consistent presence, and it's just always, of course, I mean, it holds up every time. But you got to get into your mobster, gangster, Frank Lucas bag. I guess that's American Gangster, but you got to get into your Carlito's bag in order to. I guess the Carlito's trying to go straight though, but. I guess Freddie Gibbs. You never know, but with the beats, anyways. But again, with these two guys, up because I was thinking about as well too with the collaborator rapper, the way that that's sort of labeled on the streaming services now, and how popular of a move that is, and of course it makes sense to get both the names labeled on a project that's going to be really good. But a lot of times, I think a lot of those projects do get popular, or the quality of those is shared as well too, word of mouth. Those become again albums that can be really they can grow in popularity. Again, it's sort of if we were doing like the movie comparison, maybe have the cable sort of run the second, the streaming service life. I guess now of course everything gets dropped onto streaming services directly, but the streaming service resurgence type thing as well too. It's like, oh yeah, this is really good, it's on here. But the Freddie Gibbs Alchemist collab is really like the Scorsese, De Niro, Pesci type combo of the mobster hip hop type vibes. So I mean, this is like that blockbuster type movie. I mean, of course, always incredibly cinematic albums. And that's the fun thing about Freddie Gibbs as well too. I mean, it's specifically, of course. And every time I refer to Freddie Gibbs, I'm always almost talking about Pinata and Alfredo, those two albums specifically, because that is probably like 85-90% of our Freddie Gibbs listening minutes. It's just what it is. Those albums are amazing, but the cinematic value of both of those albums, and just both of those producers in general across a lot of the scopes of their music, have had that. And you see Freddie Gibbs, of course, even incorporating that into his own solo work as well too. I mean, You Only Die Once, of course, his last project had a lot of good real interludes and kind of a storyline type vibe going as well too. And I mean, you just see like the list of albums that we have up here on the Spotify right now, and I know that there's a couple different versions of the same album here, but just looking at his discography the last decade run, of course, he's a legendary discography, legendary guy. And Alfredo did get him that Grammy nom as well too. So he is one of those guys where you look at the streaming number for him and it just never makes sense. You're like, this guy should be up here with all of the heavy hitters, with again just the consistency of the music across all the catalog. But then he's working with the major producers as well too. So the production's on point, lyrically everything's good, and his ability to structure songs as well too, just in general as again, I don't know if you can say like a hit maker because he hasn't necessarily had like that crazy big numbers type thing yet. But again, just his ability to put together cohesive projects, if it's a song or an album, is always going to be there. Quality as like of the highest level as well too. So it never makes sense why he doesn't have that. Just why his numbers don't line up with the way you would sort of rank him in the game as well too. Because this even continues to push him further as well. Because now he's a veteran as well too. And I mean that doesn't just go with a label. I mean that's both time spent, but that's also if you continue to get better as well too, putting in your 10,000 hours. I mean, again, he's got an incredible discography, but he's just always continued to level up and go in different directions and just continue to always have quality projects that for ever since basically Pinata. I guess some of the earlier projects I'm not super familiar with, but I know the Midwest Gangsta Box Frame Cadillac music is pretty good. I've definitely listened to this one as well too, because you gotta listen to the first album that's on everybody on everybody's Spotify just to see what's up. But just the run that he's had of late is incredible. And I mean The Alchemist as well too, just this year alone is already having a crazy year. So I mean Life is Beautiful is one of the best produced projects of the year and was a really important project as well too early in the year. There's always that, at least the way that the cycle has gone the last couple of years, especially when maybe this is just every year, it's just us just being more locked in on the cycle more so than ever. But the way that it seems like everybody is dropping their releases at this time of sort of the middle to July, sort of maybe through, I guess it seems like middle of July, beginning of August, middle of August, but I'm sure it'll continue out into the end of August as well too. Just like that kind of 6-week period where we just get this just incredible drop of albums. But there's always that one quality album, or not the one quality album, but there's always just a couple of real great quality albums to go. And I guess it really is the album portion of it as well too, because again, those are different listening experiences than the song listening experience, and that's where Freddie Gibbs of course strives as well too, is creating those full album projects as well. And it's not even, it is like we're saying, there's cinematic value and story that he's playing in there as well. It's not even like crazy conceptual stuff all the time though. Just again, the value of the album thing is like, I can go to an album, I can press play, and every song on there is going to be quality. It's just going to be really good, and Freddie Gibbs is always going to deliver. But the ability for like we're saying, The Alchemist to have that album early on where you can actually have that start to finish listening experience, versus, and again, like an album like Some Sexy Songs for You or something, even if there's going to be a couple of songs where you're like, maybe not going to stick in the rotation all the time, you're probably going to be, again, revisiting that album a lot, or even just, I'm not going to say like suffering through the songs. At the end of the day, Drake on Spotify, You'll Be Okay. But, you'll be like, I'll be kind of, the listening experience will be like whatever, half in, half, we'll be like 75% paying attention, so those songs can kind of just pass by kind of unnoticed. But then some albums, of course, don't quite get to that, where they can have the great songs on them, but you're just like, it's not really worth revisiting the entire thing. But again, The Alchemist production, that it's just going to be that steady from start to finish. And to, again, go with the sort of blockbuster mentality of these two guys, where, I mean, the album that The Alchemist dropped earlier this year with 2 Chainz and Larry Junes was, again, a great project, and it was like, oh, these guys are collaborating. Like, there was definitely some hype there. Again, all these guys are real names for sure. But of course, the previous history of Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist with Alfredo, so just the quality that they can bring to the table, and that, like I'm saying, these guys have continued to deliver every time. So I don't know if we go, because the thing is, I'm thinking like Scorsese, of course, he works with, if we're using the De Niro Pesci that trio as the combination, but really, if we'll just say Scorsese and De Niro as well too, just a shout out to Pesci for sure. But just to a one-to-one comparison each way. But the thing about, and I guess there is sort of a 5-year timeline from, because I was gonna say there's only a couple of years between Goodfellas and Casino, because Goodfellas was released in '90, Casino was released in '95, of course. But if I'm getting the years right, I say of course, so lock it in. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So we're sticking on the same timeline here with the 2020 to 2025 release as well too. But the ability, of course, to produce an album, maybe a little bit different than the ability to make an entire movie. So I don't know how many movies necessarily he's made since then. Versus The Alchemist done, of course, a bunch of albums, and Freddie Gibbs has had a couple of albums as well to himself. So, I guess here, let's see what scores. Was that just back-to-back pause? Hey, yo, Scorsese. And people are like, no, obviously this one in whatever. But sometimes, you're just like, okay, those are the two obvious movies that you go to on the rewatch. So is there one sneaking in there that we're not remembering? Cape Fear, Age of Innocence, and Casino. Okay, so he did have he did have the same amount of work in between the projects that Freddie Gibbs did, between his as well too. So I don't know if we're saying the ability to pump out a movie, but somehow he got out a couple movies. Like, I don't know if that goes to the quality of the movies, because then again, you go Casino, from 94 to 97 he makes one movie, it's Casino, and from 88 to 91 he makes one movie, it's Goodfellas. So a little bit more time spent there. But and I guess Cape Fear, this is De Niro again. I was gonna say, okay, yeah, this is like I guess, I don't know if we want to go too deep into the plot of that one, but Age of Innocence is not necessarily one that I guess we revisit a lot. Daniel Day-Lewis, Winona Ryder, I mean, it's got some names, of course, you're never going to be upset. Michelle Pfeiffer, shout out. But, so I guess, again, that same sort of hype for the reunion, necessarily. But I would say even more hype as well, too, because like we're saying, I mean, this album is, you would almost guarantee that the baseline of both guys' performance is going to be good. So again, it's like, okay, album of the year versus what's going to be just always, that's just going to be something that you listen to all the time. But even if this album is bad, it's like, okay, even the albums that they've had recently are good. Like, I don't know if Scorsese didn't have a good movie with Casino, that would have been interesting. And then I guess he had another movie that was not, I don't know if I guess I don't want to say this is not good, I just haven't necessarily heard of this, but Bringing Out the Dead as well too. Nicolas Cage, Patricia Arquette, Tom Sizemore, Ving Rhames. So I mean, Scorsese knows how to put together a cast for sure. He's always going to get the names. And then Gangs of New York in 2002. He's like, let me just just every time, good Scorsese, overrated, just good at gangster movies, chat. Can you be a all-time great filmmaker if you make one kind of movie really good? No, shout out to Scorsese. Because, I mean, I guess Hugo definitely mixes that up, for sure. And I guess Wolf of Wall Street as well, too. But in some ways, even though Wolf of Wall Street, you could say, is a mob movie, like, again, it's updated for the times in terms of what the mob is itself. But even just the feel of the movie, it feels newer and it just feels a little bit more 2010s than necessarily. I guess Hugo is not necessarily. Hugo's not. What year is Hugo set in? Not the 2010s, that's for sure. But yeah, interesting 90s. So Scorsese's 90s versus The Alchemist. So because I guess we're saying Freddie Gibbs, versus Scorsese, but I guess The Alchemist has to be Scorsese, right? Because the producer, director combo would be the one that makes sense, the rapper actor combo. So let's see how many albums he has had. I don't even know if we can be able to count, chat. I mean, the man has, of course, been putting in the work. Hey, yo, okay, Alfredo, there we go. The Price of Tea in China Deluxe Edition. So that goes back to 2020 as well, too. Hey, yo, so that's just both released the same year. A Doctor and a Painter and an Alchemist walk into the bar. The Food and the Villain, Carry the Fire, Harem, Thinking of Ours, Rapper and Best Friend and Instrumental. I mean, it just gives you Bo Jackson, The Great Escape, shout out. Fjord, the Flying High Part 2. Heads, I win. Tails, you lose. These are just some of them. The Genuine Articulate. Of course, Life is Beautiful. Life is Beautiful, Chop, Not Slop. So are we going to get... If we get an Alfredo 2 Chop, Not Slop, does that mean it's not going to win the Grammy? I don't know. But what's the Alchemist got a Chop, Not Slopped in here for? Hey, yo, chat. I guess the purple cover is definitely cool. And the vibes continuing with Alfredo is kind of cool as well. And I guess now that I'm kind of looking at the artwork side to side, I didn't necessarily... I mean, like the sound of the albums are definitely very similar. I was gonna say like the audio aesthetic or whatever. It's like it's not just the sound of the album, but the sound of the album is. I feel like it's again just that Alchemist sort of luxury vibe that he's going for. There is a similarity there, but there is some similarity in sort of the artwork as well too. I guess this is not necessarily a picture the same way this is, but I guess this just looks more like a picture as well. But yeah, so I guess there is definitely more. I mean, The Alchemist is definitely, again, had more time to make more albums in a couple of years than Scorsese's been able. But do you have to credit The Alchemist for that? Like, if Scorsese had just made, like, 20 movies in 2 years, it's like, okay, I guess we're not saying this for, Alchemist is like, The Alchemist never misses, obviously. But, it's like, okay, if Scorsese went 7 for 20, if Scorsese went 7 for 21 in 3 years, is that impressive? You're like, oh man, looking back, Scorsese made 7 all-time movies in 3 years. It's like, oh yeah, he also made 21 movies in 3 years. 14 of them are just terrible. But and you're like, oh wait a second, 21 movies in general, like that's just crazy. So in 3 years, I mean, you're just you're making a movie every couple of months at that point. I don't know if in this scenario Scorsese's on like a Tubi Originals type contract, but The Alchemist over Scorsese, I would say he's getting the win. So I guess we're calling Goodfellas to Casino as well too. That's definitely some high praise. As well. I guess I'm not saying that that's the one all-time comparison, but definitely in the mob vibes, for sure. The peak mob vibes for Martin Scorsese. So if that's something to compare as well, too. And I guess the Scorsese, De Niro. I mean, that's obviously, if we're talking mob vibes, that's just the peak of that duo in film. So let's see here what we've got for the 90s filmography for our guy. Between the two movies, where is Midnight Run in here on chat? That one is also having a good Tubi push as of late. I guess I don't know if it's on there right now, but it was definitely on there last month. And it was and Ronin is a good Tubi movie as well too. That one's like on the recommendeds just all the time. Shout out. I mean, Jackie Brown. I mean, obviously, De Niro might be a Tubi all-star. I mean, we'll definitely sit down and figure it out. Again, he's a difficult one because of the high-end movies. It maybe moves you out of the Tubi sort of bracket. Oh, yeah, of course, Heat in 95. A Bronx Tale in 93. And then, again, Cape Fear in 91. Awakenings also in 90. Stanley and Iris in 90 as well too, starring Jane Fonda. Okay, you talked me into it, chat. I guess I'll watch it. But Backdraft, hey yo, starring Kurt Russell, Scott Glenn, Jason Lee, and then Donald Sutherland, and then Robert De Niro. Hey yo, he's down here with Jason Jedrick and J.T. Walsh, listed with Robert De Niro in 91. So I don't know if that's not necessarily probably just making a quick cameo or something. I don't know. We need to watch the Ron Howard classic Backdraft. Hey yo, a Mad Dog in Glory also in 93. Uma Thurman, Bill Murray, David Caruso, a crime film. There's no way this is not on Tubi, chat. So we'll definitely be queuing that one up in the watch list later tonight. And then, of course, Marvin's Room in 96. But Yeah, I guess we would have to say Freddie Gibbs over De Niro as well too, because Heat is the same year, so it's not like if we're saying the in between years on a technicality, obviously the Bronx Tale in '93 is of course good, but the the rest of the list, is it enough to want to watch the Bronx Tale to take the rest of this list? Awakenings, Guilt by Suspension, Backdraft, Cape Fear, Mistress, Night in the City, Mad Dog and the Glory, This Boy's Life, uh, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So those are the movies you get, but you also get a Bronx Tale as well too. So Bronx Tale's just 2018 LeBron putting up 50 points on Tubi right now with this squad of movies apparently. I don't know if that's the case, but yeah, again, these are the premier guys of the genre. Whoa, I didn't even think about that. And I guess we'd have to go into hip hop and really get the list as well too, and make sure we're getting the full comparison. I mean, in even film as well too. We want to make sure we're actually doing the due diligence. But it does seem like they might. Would they be on that corner? Would there be a chance that Alfredo 1 and 2, if Alfredo 2 is a classic, is there a chance that could be? And I guess there's no way for us to say tonight as well too, because again, Casino and Goodfellas have been out for 30 years at this point, 20 plus years. So there have classics with legs and the rewatchability and the ability to move through time and still hold up and from a rewatchability standpoint, and still be classics in that type of way. Like, that has been proven as well too. But again, like we're saying, if we know that Alfredo is entering classic status, and it's like, well, okay, we see that there could be a similar quality thing to go off of, then maybe that could be easier to project as well too. And they're of course going with the Alfredo 2 name, so you're just getting that anticipation of the sequel for that album. I guess The Alchemist, for as many albums as he produced, he didn't have a ton of sequels. In here, what did he have? Hall and Nash? He had a little sequel run right here of Flying High Part 2 and Hall and Nash Part 2. But am I missing anything else? I guess unless there's a sequel in here that I'm just not thinking of. And we're talking again about just the last handful of years between these two albums. So, and I guess he did the Flying High 1 and 2 in the same year. Shout out. So, we need to. We'll definitely. I need to dig into the Alchemist library a little bit more. Again, this one with Earl Sweatshirt is really good. I like listening to this one for sure. I was definitely listening to these for sure. The Flying High Part 2 and Hall and Nash. 'Cause I remember these album covers. I was messing with this. Great Escape with Larry June is pretty good. Even Bo Jackson. I forget who this is with, but this is pretty good. Boldy James. Shout out Boldy James. So, and you see the vibe of the type of lyricist that he can work with as well too. There's sort of a tough guy energy that they can bring, but there's still a sneaky ability for them to kind of glide on these tracks. But it's just Freddie Gibbs. It is what it is, chat. Freddie Gibbs is just the best one. He's just the top dog. He is that's the other thing about him as well too. I mean, not to say that flow is everything, but the ability when you just have a unique flow like that, and his ability to hit these fun cadences, but there's an enunciation thing that he still has going, and then there's still some times that he's doing some sneaky melodic stuff as well too. Like, that is the type of stuff that you're like, oh, that you can ascend up, because again, it's like only Freddie Gibbs can kind of bring his level of whatever to the game. I mean, that's kind of a thing that always stood out with Lil Baby, was just like, yeah, you could say that there's other guys as well too that have similar flows, but the way that, again, Lil Baby's able to catch, again, that's a very random example to pivot off of. But there is also another piece of the anticipation as well too that makes this a little bit even more nervous for this album as well, because it's not even again, I know this album is going to be good, but with the Clips album, as much as I was obviously, we just want good music all the time. So as much as I wanted that album to be good, Freddie Gibbs again, he's just going to, even with the back catalog, his back catalog is just gonna make up more minutes listened for us this year than anybody else at their new music or whatever. It's just, Freddie Gibbs is one of our guys. So when you have one of your guys also dropping music as well too, and I think on a little bit more anticipated scale, there is like that. How is he gonna live up? And like there is a critical acclaim that this duo has with this album title, and the clips is a fun comparison for this album. Not to sorry Tyler, not to compare right away, but just to see what the similar storylines are for the album releases. For those guys, of course, again, the reuniting factor was a little bit longer because Alfredo was dropped 5 years ago, and I mean them as a duo as well too. Like we're saying, we've gotten just more work between Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist. I mean, not to say that Pharrell went away, obviously, over the last couple, and not to say that Pusha T went away. I mean, really just Malice, but Malice, of course, that means the clips, and then that just means them getting Pharrell as a producer with them as a group in a project, that type of way. Like it is, a little bit of a ripple effect, but again, you still get Pharrell, and you still get Pusha T, and then you still even get them working together on a high level as well too, even getting critical acclaim for sure. But they also, like we're saying, have dropped in potential album of the year contender. So it's not even the comparison of this album is going to be better. It's just the hype of that. I think the producer rapper collab right now as well too, like the competitiveness of that is a little bit hot because we just saw a really, really good one, like we're saying, and one that is kind of locked into that conversation. So I guess, in other words, the bar has been set. It is what it is. So Tyler, I get that, it is what I see. Tyler's interesting with some of those comments because he does just seem like he has that competitive vibe as well too. So I get what he's saying about, the enjoyment of the product as well is definitely fun. And maybe he's just leaning into the Big Poe character. Big Poe is a little bit kind of like, screw everything. We're just here to have fun and dance around. So if he's leaning into not to say that there's a fake energy, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if that's the energy that he's leaning into, then that makes sense for sure. But also a competitive guy like that, if the bar gets raised by other people and other people are pointing it out and saying, oh, this project compared to that, I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing as well too. And again, for Tyler, Tyler's right up there with the best of them. Tyler's going to be able to compete. Not to say Tyler's going to be able to compete. Taylor, of course, has won multiple times and been the best and is a legendary guy. But just to get in the album-to-album process of it, like, he's going to be okay when that stuff happens. But this is has that extra level of anticipation of being in the run as well, too. So I guess Metro not releasing his album at this point, with the futures, or with the we're thinking of the future sample, or the future feature that he's waiting on, with the producer led sort of project as well, then we do have that in the mix. And I did see a post about some Hit Boy albums some Hit Boy posters popping up, so maybe a potential Hit Boy album of some kind, a rollout for that potentially being started. That could be very interesting as well too. But even Hit Boy doesn't really have a guy like that, I don't think, in a major type way. I mean, of course, he's got his dad, shout out. But his dad, I just don't think has this, shout out again. But he just doesn't have the solo work of a guy like Freddie Gibbs. And even, again, Metro Booming has, I guess Metro Booming's got the collab. Well, he did collabs with 21, and now he has Future. So he just did the back-to-back album collabs with Future. Back-to-back album collabs with Future. He is definitely, you could say, but it was sort of a one project sort of split into two type thing. Not these guys sort of work together constantly. Well, I guess we're saying as of recently as well too, with Metro on the label, because obviously Metro has a history, and that's, so I guess that's a little bit different, because I guess, the notoriety thing of Metro rising up as a producer for Future and then becoming his own producer and now collaborating with an album is a little bit different than the Freddie Gibbs Alchemist storyline. But again, just in general, current times, like, who sort of has, like, and again, Alchemist just does a lot of work, but I do think that Freddie Gibbs would be his guy in that type of way. And maybe it is now as well too that they just have the second album in that way. Again, having not even to listen to it yet, just going back and visiting it all. Because as much as you could say that Pinata is maybe arguably still Freddie Gibbs' best project, and that's of course a collab with Madlib, it doesn't feel like. I mean, that album belongs to those. I mean, again, it feels that collaboration is legendary because of that project, of course. But this feels a little bit more like a work together, like we're saying, in that Scorsese De Niro type of way, like a duo that has a hit. It is what it is, Chad. It has a history together. So, hopefully we get a contender, Chad. I want our guy to if he's not going to get if the numbers, and hopefully the numbers go up as well too. I mean, come on, people, we got to listen to Freddie Gibbs some more. It is what it is. But if he can start getting the critical acclaim as well too, at least just, if he captures that world. I mean, I'm not even saying he's fighting for, because I don't think that Freddie Gibbs makes like it's harder to make Grammy bait album, I guess, than it is like an Oscar bait movie, though. I guess maybe Alchemist is a little Grammy baitish at this point. I don't know because maybe that's a little bit more with the pop producers. Maybe Metro is at that level though. Maybe that's why we'd have to give Metro his respect. I don't know. The Metro versus the Alchemist conversation for best current producer. I don't even know if that's just the only two guys in the conversation. There's so many guys that could be in the mix. But that is, of course, an interesting conversation because you've got the quote unquote newer guy in the game, just the younger guy in the game, I guess. But with the the commercial success and the quality as well too. But Alchemist obviously is the crazy discography and just the crazy consistency across all of it. Like he just literally never misses, and his sampling techniques are second to none. And again, we're gonna get some great quotes. So I don't know if we're gonna get, is there like a FanDuel odds for which movie? I guess at this point, it would have been spoiled already, but there would have been odds for like which movies get dialogue cut out of, dialogue sampled for these albums. Because I guess there haven't been. Well, there's been some good mob movies as of late. It's not been something that's necessarily been, again, the way that we were making them in the 90s, but there's been a couple. I don't know if we get an Irishman quote or two. I mean, you could probably find a quote in The Irishman that is cool. I've not necessarily seen that movie enough to know any quotes from it. It's always, again, for us, one of the movies that just Netflix is always like, I might throw it on sometime, like before I go to work, just to see if we watch it and then just get it out of the recommended. Hey, yo. But but every time I go to just browse past it, it's like 3 hours and 30 minutes. I mean, come on. Shout out. It's a cinematic masterpiece. But 3:30 is crazy. how many times can you how many times can you watch a 3 hour and 30-minute movie? It's just it's not gonna happen too often. I don't have only so many afternoons to just burn on The Irishman these days, especially when Oppenheimer is such a classic now as well too. You just barely have any time between those couple of movies. So that is I don't know what is going to be in the mix new wise, but they're just a great discography for them to sample, and just any type of sort of I guess quote or genre, or them even maybe cooking up their own stuff could be on the mix as well too. Their own story could be kind of fun. But with Alfredo as well, it is a little more luxury vibes as well. So who knows if it's a little bit tame on that front. But I think is this the last track? Am I crazy? Queued? Is it just not showing up, or am I okay? I think we're good. I guess we could just go back and click on the album and double check. And see. So there we go, chat. The 2020 classic, Alfredo. I guess May 29th was when it was released. So we did not necessarily do like a listen along for the anniversary of it. But we did do a quick re-listen right there. So here we go, chat. We're counting down. We've got a minute to go as this track wraps up. Pause. Ayo. So I guess we could unveil, for ourselves, the track list and see what we got here. The feature list itself too. I guess okay, the features are listed. 14 songs, 47 minutes. So this is a little bit more than the last one. Ayo. Uh, any time we get more songs, the better. Because it's not like we necessarily got a deluxe for Alfredo 2 as well. That like for Alfredo the first one as well. So it's, you know, it's not like that we eventually were able to get that track list to like 12 or a sneaky 14 or something like that. But 47 minutes puts in that prime sort of album track list range, and right there is, you know, same as the clips. Ayo, not to compare, but we got Anderson .Paak early in the feature list, so that's kind of a fun, of course, duo of those two guys on a track together. Freddie Gibbs working with a guy who can handle a little bit more melodic hook energy on some of those type of stuff. But again, we haven't even listened to this single yet as well too. So 1985 is running back. 1995 is the first track on this album. It is looks like Freddie Gibbs has got some stuff to say. We're looking at about 5 minutes on this first track here. So this is going to be Freddie Gibbs calling an ISO. Let him cook. Let's see what we've got for the 2025 version of Alfredo 2. Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist. Okay, here we go, chat. Again, you guys know how we have to throw it on the mutes. We're not trying to get the live stream pulled down and the YouTube copyright stricken and all that different stuff. So we'll have to throw it on mute every now and then if we got to lock in and listen. But for the most part, we'll do the best we can to balance it out. So, and I guess we just didn't have that very loud at all. But let's see here. And I guess I'm going to try a new thing, chat. It's called One Earbud In, because it's amazing that they actually cover your ears and you can't hear as much. But let's see here. Do we have to let 1985 finish again? Now I can hear it. Now I'm listening to this track, and now it's a good track. But, well, it's always been a good track, of course. But now I'm just re-listening to it again. But here we go, chat. I guess I'm nervous to click and start 1995. Why would you be nervous? Because it's the Alchemist. He's iconic. Freddie Gibbs, he's not going to miss. I mean, you could probably just run this track list right after Alfredo and make the vibes keep the same. Wait, did he say Thanasis? I don't even know. I'm already missing lyrics with one ear, but I'm going to have to restart again, shit. If he said Thanasis, it's worth the restart. Let's run it back. He could have said, I mean, you know, he could have literally said anything. I guess. Oh, I think he said multiply like... Oh, I don't even know what mute's on mute. Did he say multiply like maths is? I mean, shout out. It sounded like Thanasis. We're just waiting for the NBA player references. A Thanasis reference, you know, 30 seconds in would be kind of a wild move, but it would be, I mean, to work that rhyme in that early would be nuts as well. So it would be an incredible shout out. And we'll have to see what sampling credits are out there as well too, or what we're able to, I guess, you know, if something is really just jumps out of it, out us. But of course you see on, well, I guess you can't see here. Do I have to size down the screen real quick so you guys can see the Freddie Gibbs branding? Of course, he's got a couple of ladies there on the picture with him, so I don't know if that is insinuating. It's probably not insinuating they're you know, the backing vocals, but I don't know if that's the sample. We'll just have to go into the web and see afterwards and see what we get. But the little we got the nice back and forth of the vocal sample is always just hypnotic for the Alchemist. And I don't know if we really had it, pause, like the sample like this on the Alfredo with the sort of constant, I guess how specific of each sample do you want to get, but still just that constant sort of female whatever. What's a non-cancel way to say it, chat? Hey, yo, the back and forth high pitched sample that they have there, but in that constant way. I feel like they didn't really have that on Alfredo. But that's the first part of the track. We got a little switch up early here on as well. I guess we should have assumed that the Alchemist was going to be in his bag for a 5-minute track, not just Freddie Gibbs as well too. I mean, is that the process? I'm assuming, right? I guess I've always assumed that it was the Alchemist has the beats first and then Freddie Gibbs is dropped. I mean, obviously, but I don't know if like Freddie Gibbs has ever like wrote like how many verses does he just write for Alfredo beforehand, or songs that he has written beforehand. I'm not saying that that's never been a part of his process, and I guess it just probably just depends on the guy. But I was hearing a lot of people talk about with this Clips album, because I was listening to the Dissect pod about it. Shout out. So I'm going back and re-listening to the album review on it, and they were talking about the Kendrick feature on there and about the timing at which he had wrote that verse. So I guess he would have probably had gotten the beat and then wrote that verse as well too. But just for the songwriting in general, is it just always over the one specific beat, or do you? I mean, I'm sure again it just depends, but that's always how I've assumed it works for these guys. Is the Alchemist is just cooking up beats, and then Freddie Gibbs is just sitting there, I guess not necessarily at the same time, but in a perfect world, maybe. But do we have a third beat? Am I crazy? Am I just talking through it? Let me back it up a little bit. Okay, no, I still think we're on the same beat here. The second one, shout out. And I like that he's kind of going back to the electric guitar sort of vibe on that 1985, similar type track. But if you're going to keep a similar style like that from Alfredo 1 to Alfredo 2, mixing that again, that vocal sample into the intro, set the tone in a different way. And even this version of the sample as well too, just this version of a guitar sample, of course, is gonna be different, but to bring the same energy with that new beginning is a great production move by our guy Alchemist. And it is Freddie Gibbs on the first couple of tracks himself getting ready to cook. So I don't know here, let me go back. When did he have his first feature for Alfredo? I guess it is, he went 2 songs and then Rick Ross and then a third and then Look at Me. And then here, wait, do I have the whole thing saved into this playlist? I guess I'm just guessing if I do. But yeah, okay, yeah. So 3 of the first 4 featured, and then he has a good run of features in the middle, and then a couple of end features on the old one, or the previous album, Alfredo. So this time they just let him go 3 for 3 on the opening, and he goes, of course, mixing it up on the outro as well too. I guess I just talked through whatever that sample was there, but we're got a little bit slower energy here with Mar-a-Lago from that again, the electric guitar in 1995. Was there like a little chime situation early on? There was some. Oh, we got some kind of wind vibes. I just noticed the parental advisory sticker is in like a foreign font as well too. So I'm going back. I was saying, is the old one, but no, they've still got that one as a just normal parental advisory labeled on there. So I don't know if that means something for this project. We might have to look into that. Oh, wait a second. Wait, I gotta go back. Listen. Oh, Chad, I think I skipped back too far. I'm waiting. They had some sort of vocal dialogue in there. Oh, it's gonna be too generic. If somebody knows this right off the top, then they're an iconic, or if they made this up, I don't know. I'm guessing it's sampled out of something, but if it's the Alchemist, it could be a deep cut. You never know. The man's always digging into his bag. I mean, is he just listening to the most random music on the most random Tubi movies queued up, just figuring out which stuff to sample? I don't know how the Alchemist, just what is in his entertainment rotation, but he's just, what does the Alchemist Spotify rap look like? What kind of weird artist is this man listening to? But he makes it work. Or is Alchemist? Is he on streaming? Does he just listen to only physical vinyl type stuff? I guess if he's taking a walk, like you gotta have your earbuds in, listening to something. But this is that the like we're saying, the energy mix up from the luxury vibes of the first one. This definitely still has that laid back cruising vibe, but there's a little bit of a darker energy here, and as it creeps along, we get you get those chime hits in there. This is a killer track, chat. Hey yo, I gotta say, again, to start off, I don't know if we're on pace to like cruise past it, but that's not the point, chat. That's not the point. The point is to still get that new hit of summer music for the rotation. But Lemon Pepper Steppers? Okay, wait a second. We got a whole scene playing out here. Did I hear somebody getting thrown into jail, chat? Wait, so is that a cop or is that somebody threatening somebody? Oh wait, the dialogue went away. Okay, so they're gonna let the sample right out. Okay, so shout out chat, 2 for 2. Ooh, what's up, bro? They switched it up again. New movie, new sound. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's the little... Oh, Freddie, get... Check. He's going to be locked in, chat. Ooh, we got the Alchemist. He's spinning up the drums, chat. He knew we needed it. He knows how to lay out an album, chat. He knows how to sequence this stuff to keep you entertained. Freddie Gibbs flowing, cruising at his best right here. Oh, chat, we just got this little electric guitar kind of in the mix here in the back. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I take it back. This makes the first 2 tracks even better right here. But again, how is the album going to unfold? What kind of different ups and downs are you going to get? Not ups and downs quality standpoint, but I'm talking more the emotional ride that you're going to get. And you know that he's going to deliver all the types of music that you're going to need. Not necessarily, the Alchemist with a club banger, though I'm sure he could if he wanted to. But just like, okay, we need a little energy as well too. I guess that's the thing about Alfredo, is that 1985, that guitar hit right away. It's just like immediate adrenaline. So you need a little pick me up to start the album for sure. This is definitely a good way to get that energy back. And they have cranked up the sampling in this one as well too. We love it, chat. Freddie Gibbs is pulling up short on the tracks to let the dialogue play out. That's the Alchemist cooking as well. But, you gotta get the cinematic value in there. Oh, chat, this sounds familiar. This little end guitar riff. If we should know this right away from something, our bad. Or if it's just a version of what we were hearing earlier, then maybe. But there is something familiar about that. So we'll see if we look that up, what we find. But Anderson .Paak in the mix, he wasn't on the last one. He had Tyler the Creator, Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher, of course. Shout out all of those, guys that can play in that classic gangster vibe, that gangster bag, those hard lyrics. And not to say that, I guess Anderson .Paak couldn't drop some aggressive bars. But you already see with the piano keys where this track is sort of being fitted a little bit for Paak to help him, Anderson .Paak to help him, not help him, but, to get him into the mix a little bit different. And this is, again, the energy is still up on this track right here. We got a nice little skip on the drums. And they're saving Anderson .Paak as well, too. We'll see if he's a hook or a verse. Shout out. Oh, there's a Larry June feature. Empanadas, the next song. Shout out. Chat, we should DoorDash some empanadas in honor of Alfredo. Alfredo and empanadas. Can we eat those on the same night? How do you have an album called Alfredo 2 and then a track on there called Empanadas? Am I crazy? Are these the same? Are these in the same food group? Or is this? Can you get Alfredo and empanadas at the same table? I mean, I guess you could, but I'm just saying, is that classically served together? I don't know. But either way, neither of them we're going to be complaining about. If there was a world where there's a dinner where there's Alfredo and empanadas both there as well, lemon pepper wings, I mean, that's chill for sure. And this is Anderson .Paak on the hook right here. Getting that little violin sort of piano combo. This feels like a movie score almost. If I bet he probably sampled some movie score here, or he's just really making it sound like it. But it does have that same sort of building, and then on the verses, I guess in the chorus in general, but throughout the track. But there's like a, what'd you call it, like a cowbell or something in between the drums that's really going crazy on this track. So I don't know, for some reason that's feeling like some cinematic stuff as well too. But just the general strings on this, it feels very movie-ish. So I don't, is this maybe speaking of Carlito's Way? If we get a Carlito's Way soundtrack sample in this album, that is a win. And to mix some Pacino on there, but I mean, hey, I'll pause. But that would be, of course, a peak sampling for our guy, Alchemist. And we got to see if our guy, Freddie Gibbs, goes Mafia and disses anybody as well, too. We're always looking for the diss tracks. I mean, I guess Tyler was kind of dissing he's always kind of dissing the media and stuff in his releases. But he was kind of saying, of course, like we were saying about the comparison stuff and the fans just about enjoying the album, no concepts and things like that. So he kind of dissed us by not giving us a concept, and he dissed the media by saying not to compare it as well too. But in terms of him actually dissing people, and he did diss white people with dreadlocks, I guess, in his album as well. But do we call that really a diss? I think white people with dreadlocks, I don't know if that's a diss or a joke or how it really goes. But I guess we're not going to try to make I won't get too crazy into that conversation. But the white people with dreadlocks did, I feel like, could deserve the lyric from Tyler. It is what it is. But Freddie Gibbs is in that vibe, as that lane as well, where if he did take a well-timed aim at the right person and they responded, they got in a little battle back and forth, and he was dropping some really good bars, like he could definitely see himself surge way up for stuff like that. But not to say that that's the only way it could happen. It could happen just based on dropping good music as well too, obviously. But I'm saying he's one of the guys in the spot in his career and with some of the notoriety stuff that he could benefit from that in a major way, where some guys are just not quite to that potential quite yet. Even if they were in the mix, I think with one of these guys, it would be more like a starting point or a breaking out type of moment or something like that, but not necessarily a different level like that. But this is bringing that vocal sample back in a little bit. I think they're going away from it from the verse. You'll see, we'll bring it back in from the chorus. Whatever they had cooking up on there was kind of crazy. The Alchemist is just going to continue to cook up on this song as well too, even though it may not be that initial thing. But we'll have to get the Gibbs genius up and double check what his lyrics are as well, which Spotify could definitely load that day one. I don't know why we have to wait more. Is it just this? Well, they just go word for word with the lyrics for the most part, so I think it feels like it should be throwable up there. And yeah, there's that chop back on the hook. That feels even a little almost, again, Mad Libby as well too. So that's the fun thing about Alfredo, is it does differentiate from a Mad Lib produced album like Pinata, but it also still has the same hits of, you know, great sampling and some of the soulful stuff, and just kind of into the same kind of areas. But the use of the chops on this one is bringing back that kind of vibe. The soulfulness on this one's crazy, chat. This is definitely a good middle of the album track for that way. So I guess Pinata is an hour runtime as well too, a little bit more extensive. Oh, and I guess I just scrolled through. They saved the JID feature for the end of the album. Oh, so it is just Anderson .Paak, Larry June, and JID, I guess, as the 3 features. Because in seeing them revealing their track list again, I didn't really look at it that much, but I did see that it was broken off into 3 parts now that I think about it. And it was 5 songs in each part. So I don't know what happened, if a song got cut right away, or, you know, Spotify's just not necessarily loading like the multiple disc display at this point, because it obviously will do that for some double albums or multi-disc albums like Hardstone Psycho. You can see where it says, of course, disc 1, disc 2. I mean, like, For All the Dogs Scary Hours edition, you know, it's got disc 1. Mr. Morale has got a disc 1, disc 2, disc 3 situation. You can see on Spotify, of course, but we don't have that with Alfredo yet, so it's, I don't know if, like, if they took a song off and changed some stuff, but for now we're just looking at that 14 song 47-minute runtime for our guys at this point. And Skinny Suge 2 with The Alchemist, does it say Benny? Oh, chat, I just skipped away out of it. Okay, wait a second, we're back. I just fat fingered it to the end of the album. I thought it said something about Benny the Butcher, but I guess not. I guess not. Wait a second. Now I'll just scroll through. Oh, excuse me. No, I guess it's just stopping at Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist. Oh, jeez. I'm making stuff up. I thought I saw Benny the Butcher. And he's not on the album in general? Oh, chat. What a missed opportunity. But Freddie Gibbs cooking up himself on this Alchemist project, it's about time. It is about time. And these features, all you imagine, would work really well with him as well, too. Like we're saying, the hook guy in Anderson .Paak. Larry June can be that cruising sort of partner. Pause. And then JID can have that crazy, just he snapped, he went off, he forces you to bring your best game type feature as well, too. And all just new to the Gibbs universe in a different type of way, so that's a fun thing as well. Or not totally new, you know, but at least JID, I think. Have JID and Freddie Gibbs worked together before? I don't know if they have. Is JID on Sold separately here? I'm looking this up right now. He had Offset on there. Pusha T, Music Soul Child, Raekwon. Oh, there. So he did work with Anderson .Paak on Sold separately. Shout out. But oh, and he's on. Oh, Giannis on Bandana. Hey, yo, chat. We need to run back the Bandana start to finish as well too. That would be one that we're not giving love. And same, like we're saying, we just need to spin. We need to even visit more of the Freddie Gibbs back catalog than we already do. It is what it is. Freddie, you got more listening minutes headed your way, pal. We're gonna be just bumping Freddie Gibbs all night. We'll just play a couple of these albums, like we're saying, overnight to just make up for some of the lost time. Throw Shadow of a Doubt on overnight. 2018's Freddie, self-titled Freddie. You gotta have the self-title, so we'll throw that on as well too. And Suge 2 is great. We should have mentioned that. The right there, the high pitch. I don't know if you caught it for just a second. It almost sounds like, I almost was gonna say it sounded like a scream or something in the back. But it's just like the high pitch, whatever is going on there is great. Very, very hypnotizing. Almost to the point where it went away. It's like a frequency that like you adjust to. It's like, it is almost more like a frequency than it is a song at this point. It's starting to send signals into my mind, Chad. Alchemist, is he trying to mind control me with Skinny Suge 2? I think it might be trying to happen. If there's any producer that could work mind control into a beat, I mean, Alchemist would be a #1 draft pick, so, I mean, we can't necessarily take it off the table. As well, too, the Pink Purple is a little hallucinatory, for sure. So here we go. Larry June back with The Alchemist this year. Alchemist back with Freddie Gibbs for this album. Oh, what is this song, chat? What is this sample? Oh, maybe it's not like an old song we know, but it's got the vibes of. Wait a second, what was that? It has a whiff of "Close the Door" on it, chat. Just a whiff, and I don't know if this is like he cut like just a portion of this out for the sample and has like slowed it down and looped it back, or if it's just a song or something that is just for some reason giving that vibe off to me. But it's just there's I feel like maybe even if it's just the first couple of notes of those pianos, it's just like there's some Teddy Pendergrass in this sample, chat. I don't know. We'll have to double check this one, but. Larry June. Ooh, Freddie Gibbs, a little double time right there. Shout out. You know Larry June's going to be on his laid back flows, so that's good for Freddie Gibbs to step up his own flow as well too, just for the tracks, not for the track's sake, but to make the track, give the track some variety, and to help Larry June's verse and feature stand out as well too, for sure. Oh yeah, Larry June just dropped it down a couple of gears, chat. We're cruising now. I don't know if, that's not driving a manual. I don't think it actually really works that way. But you're not. I don't think you don't drop it down a couple of years to go into cruising mode. But again, who knows? I really know nothing about driving manual. I know about driving. I mean, I've obviously driven some sports bikes around too, but I don't think that counts as driving a manual. That's a different thing. I think that can help, obviously, with the feel of a the feel of a clutch, if you were transitioning those skills into driving a manual. But I don't know if it necessarily is like giving you a crazy head start on any type of progress that you could have as well. But again, I've never even used the motorcycle skills that I have to try to translate over into a car, so I wouldn't know. But either way, Larry June's verse, I guess, smooth, chat. Smooth. So we got Barry White and Larry June's Barry White, Freddie Gibbs, Teddy Pendergrass apparently on this track. It is what it is. And The Alchemist is Stevie Wonder. I don't know what the three-person pause, is that the 1970s, 80s version of the comp? Maybe. But also if it's the sample, that could be good as well too. So shout out to June. I feel like he brought it. I kind of talked over it slightly, but he was definitely smooth cruising on that one for sure. So there's 2 for 3 on the features. Freddie Gibbs not letting a lot of people in the studio. Just Larry June, Anderson .Paak, and Jid. Hey yo, what a collection. I don't know if Freddie Gibbs is. I was gonna say he works with West Coast people because he's got Anderson .Paak on here. He's got Jid from the South. Is Larry June a New York guy or is he a Midwest guy? I don't know. Maybe he is an LA guy too. I honestly don't know where he hails from as an artist, but he is working with all the regions here. A little Freddie Gibbs Schoolboy Q. I don't know why I'm thinking about that. That can be kind of fun. The outro sample. Yeah, the outro samples as well too. I feel like that is a little pinata-ish in a way. I mean, not to say that that's the only album that does that, but to compare it to the albums that those producers have made and what this album is bringing to the table. Similarly, I think that with the way that it is just, of course, giving you that little bit of an extra sample, an extra song, an extra just mini beat at the end as the track just switches up as it plays out or as there's some dialogue or something, is a good hit as well too. So I still love her, but H period E period R period. So it's spelled like the artist. So is there some history between Freddie Gibbs and her that I don't knowing about, Chad? Do I have to look this up real quick? I mean, I called Freddie Gibbs one of my guys, but I guess I don't necessarily know what his off the mic history is at this point. So our guy Freddie Gibbs and Her. Let's see if there is any Freddie Gibbs and Her left the club shots at this point. Or Freddie Gibbs, Her, seen at blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Lots of references to his song. Oh, wait a second. Freddie Gibbs. Is Freddie Gibbs have a wife, chat? I guess I've never even. Freddie Gibbs is our guy. I only look at this. I guess I only look at this man's Spotify at this point. I never even thought. Of course, this man has a wife. What would you expect? So is this in reference to Her? I guess you would assume so. That's what we're getting. That's what we're saying here. I guess that's what we can double check as well too in a second. But I guess that would make more sense. But you never know. You got to start with the basics if you're a detective trying to break down this stuff. You know, if you got it spelled H-E-R with the periods in there, you got to assume that the first suspect is always going to be the artist. But Shangri-La as the next track, I feel like is, of course, an all-time name for a song. A lot of Shangri-Las out there. Snoop and Dr. Dre, speaking of the producer-rapper historic combos reuniting pods, they did have a song on their latest album called Shangri-La. Really good, of course, in that really great run of songs on the first half of the album. So, yeah, fits right in there beautifully. Pause. But is not the same thing, and, you know, maybe you could just kind of get away with that as well, too. But, ooh! I think we just hit a nice little transition there. I don't know if I don't know if the Spotify in the computer was lagging a couple seconds on the time stamp slider thingy versus what we were getting on the actual speaker. But it did seem like he did hit that transition pretty smooth there. And Shangri-La on Missionary Chat. Hey, yo, Shangri-La, a little bit more of an energy track. I mean, it's Dr. Dre and Snoop, so they're bringing a little bit more of the fun vibes. But this is that laid back. Again, we kind of got that cowbell thingy going again. That clicking sound. Kind of setting us at a slow tempo for sure. You know. But if you're gonna introduce a song into the new a new song into the name pantheon like that, then you've got to bring it at a unique level. You got to bring it at a quality level, and it does feel like at a unique quality drunken level they have somehow maybe figured it out. But Gas Station Sushi as well too is the next track. I guess we're just going a lot of food titles on this one in general. Is that the last one? Oh, ayo, chat. Are we still good? I thought I just closed out the screens. Nope. Okay. Almost dead. The other one didn't have that many. So is that all of the new tracks, quote unquote, or food tracks? Lemon pepper steppers, ensalada, empanadas, and Gas Station Sushi. Shout out. So is this the hot take, dissect take that we have for the episode? Is the new songs that the new inspired songs are named after food, and they're two of the first ones, 3, and then way down. Hey yo, you got, I guess, is Gold Feet considered a food? Would be another one to potentially throw on the list as well too. But outside of that, seems like that would be most of the track list pre-revealed there. So Shangri-La, once again, we get the pivot. I keep thinking it's the transition into the next album, or the next song, but it's just the little beat switch, and then we'll get the album switch or the arrest or whatever. But this is the outro. Ooh, a little pivot again. We got that little whistle as well too, to kind of follow the drums out. It is not bad. Okay, Gas Station Sushi chat. Oh, we got some kind of heavier synth energy here. Alchemist, what are you up to? What are you up to, buddy? This could be kind of crazy. Ooh. I mean, he's not going to go full Brooklyn Trap on you, pause, but he'll definitely give you some fun uh, drive along rhythm for sure. Gibbs' lyricism always insane, and the summer is definitely survivable with those two things. So this is still kind of chill, still kind of cruising, still kind of that fluty type sound in this one as well too. Ooh, and Freddie, I mean, over the last couple of tracks has done a pretty good job, I think, of having good different cadences. So now he can kind of bring back some of his just rapping stuff as well too, and sets him up perfectly for that collaboration with Jid, because that's going to be a great chance for him to go toe to toe, bar to bar, lyric for lyric with one of the best ones right now. I mean, of course, Jid is one of the, like we're saying, skill-wise the best lyricist. He is the one of the guys that you would have to say is still maybe a tier down just in terms of some of the status stuff. But Freddie is right there as well too. For him to go toe to toe with Jid would be a big move for just his resume for a community type stuff like that. I mean, from what we should compete on as well too is pretty incredible, the tracks and the legends that he's been able to go up against. So it's not like Freddie Gibbs needs this because he has a great discography. It would be a thing that you could have in a potential argument. Like Jid does not necessarily have the same body of work that Freddie Gibbs does, even though Jid has a great body of work. Just the totality of it, Freddie Gibbs has a broader scope. But what Jid is, of course, doing lyrically and some of the stuff is crazy. And his wordplay, like, as much as, Jid would still be able to go in through a whole project probably more consistently through that stuff than a guy like Freddie Gibbs. I mean, if Jid is still able to bring this different, more high-level version out of him for a track, then that is going to be great to see as well, too. So this track is definitely a lot better than Gas Station Sushi, chat. Hey, yo, Gas Station Sushi is right up there with the lowest form of food out there. I mean, I'm all for pro sushi. I'm pro just about, and to be honest, I mean, I'm not coming from a guy that's not saying he's never had Gas Station Sushi, chat. I mean, I'll find myself randomly craving gas station food at least once a week. It's just, pause. It's just inside of you. You can't deny yourself. You can't deny it yourself as a human being. But it doesn't mean that the sushi is going to be the thing that you're going to gravitate for. The sushi is wild. Maybe something off the roller if you're, a burger or something. Keep it normal. A little, just like a yogurt cup. I don't know what you're going to go that, super crazy. But yeah, sushi is wild. I mean, even sushi from like Target sushi. I mean, come on, chat. What are we doing here? But Target sushi also had it a few too many times. It is what it is. When you're in the middle of the Midwest and you're like, well, I guess I can't get sushi anywhere else. I'll just get this to-go container of sushi from Target. So, Lavish Habits. This one actually feels like, I guess, Lavish Habits, Gas Station Sushi, probably not a lot of overlap there. So back to back on the track list is a wild pivot in that way. But in terms of the Sonics, we stay in that vibe for sure. I do think that you have Jid on this track. You have an opportunity for one more good, energetic track. I think that would make the track list have a really nice flow to it between the, again, just kind of the cruising. We're going to take a little bump up. Now we're just back in the laid back vibes, and then just one more little hit back up. Because the flow of the middle of this album, again, we've kind of been like, oh, those two songs have been similar, and that transition was nice, and this is fun. So there's just been a really good pace and flow here throughout the course of this album. I think, you know, we're not gonna do it. We are doing immediate reactions, immediate comparisons. We're not even done listening to the album, so we'll let this JID song play out. We'll let the chance to see what they've crafted here in terms of a feature, in terms of a song, in terms of a Freddie Gibbs performance, an Alchemist beat. Like, we will see what this track adds to the list before we start saying too much. But it is an interesting comparison between this and some of the projects that we got recently. But this little outro as well too. We got a little catchy, little bass groovy thing going here, but then those little chimes, constant chimes going as well. Very chimes heavy album in a way. So we don't get any Freddie Gibbs bars over that kind of funky little groove there. Would have been fun. But he's still able to bust with that sound. So he does send it up a little bit, pause, as we enter this JID track. Let's see what we got here, chat. Oh, the drums are kicking in. Oh, you feel the little bit of a push and energy, chat. Here we go. This is what you want. Ooh. I didn't expect it to be this kind of vibey, floaty the way it started off. You know, there's been a little bit of the chimes and sort of the pluckiness and the instant stuff of some of the tracks have seemed to not necessarily flow all the same time. I guess it again, it flows, but it's whatever I'm thinking about in my mind. It doesn't have the same flowy sound that just had right there, if that makes sense. But we'll go back and give it another listen as well too, chat, to make sure, of course, that we are paying attention to it properly. Make sure that we're paying attention to the words, the things that are said, the beats, chat. It's Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist. They deserve time to digest and be fair. I guess I'd say time to digest, but they just, digest, be fair. They deserve a chance to talk about what we just witnessed, what we just listened to. From a music standpoint, what was the results of the evening? And they're going to tune in to Tubi and see the slate of games at this point. So, shout out. But we've got... Oh, here's the JID verse. Oh, JID, he's talking about the gangsters, of course. He's with the Freddie Gibbs in the mix with the Alchemist. Got to start off. Ooh, we got to just go on mute chat real quick. We got a soliloquies? A word of the day for JID? Soliloquies? Yeah, there's like an organ or something descending on this track, chat. Hey, yo. The Alchemist, we got some like crazy little piano keys here with this, I guess, organ, piano, whatever, with the drums. JID, yeah, this feels like a perfect at-home track for JID right here. And I mean, it's his ability to catch these flows, but I mean, it feels like he's got so much momentum right now. He's just built. I'm not, just on his cadence on this track. He's just caught this rhythm where you feel like, yeah, he is just got momentum that could just keep kind of snowballing and going and going and going and going. And then, yeah, the way it just descends right there, Chad, it's perfect. The JID better get the out. Well, I get hopefully the JID had Alchemist cooking up for him on God Does Like Ugly. What's the name of the title, Chad? Hopefully the Alchemist has a track on there because they are a good teammates, good people working together. I mean, the Alchemist is... testing 1, 2, 3. What just happened? The internet just cut out. Wait a second. Hopefully the stream is still connected. If not, we go to part 2 and the show goes on. And if you're listening to this on the podcast version, then it is what it is. But okay, we are still good to go. Whew, that was a close one, chat. Last a couple times, you get the red X of death on the Wi-Fi signal down here, and you never know. We don't want to lose the chat. But Jean-Claude, so we never. Oh, there it is right there. He just said the name. I didn't actually expect him to say it in the song. I feel like Jean-Claude would be. That wouldn't be a crazy one. Our guy Freddie Gibbs is good enough to work Jean-Claude into a verse, I feel like. I mean, come on. Freddie Gibbs, he wouldn't be a great if you couldn't rhyme Jean-Claude. We're not talking about Orange here, but hey, Tyler was doing it pausing the last track with the clips as well, too. But John, he would have been kind of fun to see in a mobster movie in some ways. I don't know what part he would have played. I don't think he could have been, we're not going to put any limitations on his ability as an actor, but him as a main guy would have been interesting in a movie. Like, I don't know, how old was Jean-Claude Van Damme in the 90s? Like, could he have been Henry Hill? Like, just age-wise? Would that have made sense? Here, let me look up real quick and see what year he was doing certain stuff. Pause, because, hey, yo. Because the 80s, like, he is, of course, a 80s into the 90s guy, but does he get... He's not, like, crazy in the 90s, so... Time Cop, Street Fighter in 94, Maximum Risk, Double Team Knockoff, Universal Soldier in 90, what year was that one? Somewhere in here. Oh, 92, one of the early ones. Hey, yo, shout out. So, in the 90s, I guess he could have potentially done that as well, too. I guess he does look pretty young in Bloodsport, it seems like. So there is potential that he's not even like he could still kind of be in that mix for a Henry Hill type role. Even in 1990, I guess, he's not going to be Loyola for sure. It is what it is. But the ability for him to have been in that type of genre, I think would have been pretty fun as well. I think for him to work with that type of director, again, I have to go double check his filmography, but in some of those action type movies that he's in, which are all, he's one of the more, they can all be kind of iconic performances type guys, and that just makes the movies good to a certain extent. But he is a guy that if he had matched up with a different type of director in those genre type movies, it maybe even, again, a little bit of a smaller part, maybe it leads to a bigger part at some point as well too. Pause. But I think that would have been an interesting point for him to take as well. So 1,000 Mountains, chat, Freddie Gibbs on the closing track with the whistle sample from our guy in The Alchemist. I don't know if the little flute whistle sample situation, but this is a win all the way through. From a production standpoint, just kind of listening to it, I guess, again, the way we're kind of talking through it, obviously we're not really paying attention word for word at this point. But the production of the album does not miss, chat. It does not miss. The Alchemist, of course, gives you the ability to, gives you the best cut samples that anybody's going to have. And his ability to give you a little bit of variety there throughout the track list as well, too, some of the energy stuff is really, really good. 14 tracks, great consistency, great, consistency and quality. Great variety in some of the type of stuff and ways that you're moving around a little bit. Not crazy. But this is right up there, chat, with those projects that we've seen from the year and from the recency as well, too. Because you imagine a project like this is going to continue to, only grow and do better as well. Like, I mean, in some ways, I guess I would like to see the numbers of the first one compared to the second one in some ways, and just see where we're at this point. But, ooh, the way it kind of switches into a little, but he brings back that. He brings the whistle back. Hey, yo. I'm not saying I'm anti-whistle. I was trying to use it as a way to define where we were at in the song, but nope, the whistle is back. I just feel like, I haven't seen this movie in a while, I feel like I'm not supposed to like this whistle for some reason. there's something weird about this whistle. Is this the temptation? Right here is the whistle in the back of your head actually saying that. Pause. Ayo. The right thing, it seems like. So that's kind of a interesting idea. But yeah, we can go through the Genius and see what the Gibbs lyrics are looking like in this project. But the Alchemist delivers once again, Chad. It's good to see. It's a weight off of our shoulders that this does hold up from a sonic level, that I think it can continue to be played in basically any environment as well, too. Not an environment that this setting, I guess whichever setting you're bumping, rap music, hip-hop music at, there's not necessarily an environment that this wouldn't be okay or cool or wouldn't sound fresh and new, and like somebody be like, oh, what's that? We need to hear some of that stuff. But there is just no way, an undeniable quality about what is had and what is not. But unbelievable, chat. Great job by the two guys returning once again for another project in 2025, 5 years off from the original Alfredo, with Alfredo too. Oh, we're downloading the album as we speak. Hey, yo, I didn't even mean to do that, but I'm not even going to be mad. Hey, yo. I mean, it's not like we're not going to not want the album downloaded at some point. Hey, yo, we'll get it out clean, chat. Pause. But let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back. We'll go through the Genius. We'll react, continue a little bit more, see what we got going on for Alfredo 2 featuring Freddie Gibbs in The Alchemist right after this. Okay, chat, we are back, and IT said everybody's listening to NBA YoungBoy. So, do we have to pull up that album real quick and see what's going on here? I don't know if I can find it here. I guess I can because we can find NBA YoungBoy's page. We are tech savvy enough to pull that up on Spotify here. But yeah, NBA YoungBoy never broke again. It what Mesa? What is this, chat? Hey yo. Don't tell me NBA YoungBoy is another rapper in a red cap. I don't know if we see one here, but whoa, Mesa, we got tons of songs, chat. 30 songs an hour 33. NBA YoungBoy, back strong. Fire Your Manager, Playboy Cardi, Cold World, Yellow, Mellow Racks, and those are the only two features on a 30-song album. Taking a little bit of a step out of Playboy Cardi's book. Even that shows you that just the number like every level you hit with those checkpoint numbers, just kind of what kind of a daunting task you feel this is the album. Because if you get to the 20 song, just the number 2 on the album stuff, it's like, oh, 20 plus songs. Hey, yo, 30 is like, crazy. But let me see, am I crazy? Was I Am Music 30 songs, or was that in the high 20s and he just got short? Yeah. Oh, it's 30. Yeah. So is there a deluxe? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Music Sorry for the Wait. So Music Sorry for the Wait. 34 songs. An hour 28. We've got now this NBA YoungBoy album was an hour 33. Yeah. An hour 33. So does he got a couple of 2-parters? Oh, Wine and Dine? Maybe that's a 2-parter. Myself Part 2. Okay, here, let's cue up this Playboy Cardi track real quick and just see what's going on. This doesn't sound like an Alchemist beat. Is this Playboy Cardi on the chat? I don't know what's going on with Playboy Cardi as of late. I don't know if it's just maybe it's just I'm already, hey yo, I was gonna say becoming soft with old age. That's wild. We're not making that claim quite yet. Hey yo, wink wink. But I mean, I guess we're wink winking the fact that we're not making that claim. But hey, either way, lose lose. But he's kind of winning me over, chat. He's kind of winning me over. I'm not always saying like I'm gonna love every song or every production choice, but I love what the direction could be potentially for him as a feature artist playing in some of these other realms as well too. Because again, we're seeing the overlap with him for some of the guys that we listen to. Like, I guess he hasn't necessarily. He's not gonna dip over into this side of the underground world. You would necessarily say. I guess NBA YoungBoy's not necessarily underground, anyways, but. If he's gonna go not work with a mainstream guy, then he's gonna probably not work with like, a lyrical type guy or whatever. But the way he's kind of, I don't want to say even again normalizing his vocals, because I don't want to seem like the other stuff is like, it's cool. It's just again not stuff that I listen to. That's not a bad thing. I mean, there's so many guys. I mean, it's like everybody. You only listen to like 6 artists a day. So, even a day is crazy. You listen to like 1 a day and maybe 6 out of the entire year. And then you get lucky for it. It's just like, okay, that makes up. Everybody has their 6 and it's, enough of that to make up the entire world of music. But, it just was like, okay, it didn't really kind of cross over into your world at all. I mean, there's legendary guys that are, more unanimously loved than uh, a guy like Playboy Cardi that we're probably not listening to enough. At this point, Eminem, Eminem is not a guy that we're always like, let me just cue up this Eminem song. It's like, it is what it is. Sometimes you're just like, okay, I'm going to cue up a song. I'm panicking. Oh, Jay-Z, The Blueprint. Like, okay, I'm panicking. It's going to be something off of the Black Album. Like, it is what it is. But, or you just randomly hit the shuffle, and then again, it's like, okay, well, this guy only listens to, like, these people, so this is what the shuffle is. It's really algorithmic like that. But, yeah, Freddie Gibbs is up there as well, too. So here, I got the Genius pulled up. I guess I can sift through the lyrics as well, too, and see if there's anything crazy in here as we go along. Again, I don't know. Oh, he did say Thanasis early on. Shout out Thanasis. Let's go. First verse. Okay. I guess he didn't say Mathsis. I don't know why did he say adding something? Hey, yo, I guess I missed the bar way worse the first time. Oh, run it back like an addict. There we go. So he didn't say add it. So we might have to go 2 earbuds out next time, chat. This is not working out with the muffled sort of sound thing. And also, I guess maybe we'll just commit more to the mute as well too. That definitely helps. But let's see. Nothing in your catalog classic. You shacked. You got the Thanasis. Oh, wait a second. So he's talking to somebody here. Can we figure it out without the Genius help? Why? What's the point of Genius? The Genius annotation is about Thanasis. Freddie suggests while he will continue to create classics, while his target doesn't deserve to be. So wait, it doesn't say who his target is. That Thanasis, Shacked and a Fool. Of course, shout out Shacked and a Fool. Rabbits. Okay, we don't die, we multiply like rabbits. Run it back like an addict. Took the high road. I'm riding overpass. Nothing in your catalog classic. You shacked him like Thanasis. Godfather Kane turned these boys to bastards. Built like Joseph Jackson. Okay, so I guess he's not necessarily referencing anybody specifically. At least it doesn't say right there. But had to come back for the sequel. Ain't no equal. Here, I guess let's play this again and see what we got as we go. And of course, as you would suspect, I'm already liking this album more. This is another one. Shout out. See, this is not gonna. I guess Pusha T's another one. Like the clips are gonna be a real. I guess, we've been bumping Chains and Whips like crazy. It is what it is. You get a Kendrick feature on there. He's one of the guys that's on the rotation, just top of the list right now. It is what it is. I mean, just look at the numbers for everybody. But like we're saying, Freddie Gibbs is going to be one of our guys. So I might find myself listening to Freddie Gibbs more than anybody, this project, more than anybody, over the albums that dropped over this next couple of years. Next couple of months. I'm simultaneously thinking last year, at the end of last year, I was really bumping You Only, You Only Live Once, or You Only Die Once. Again, because he has a title with a similar name as well, too. So I'm bumping tracks off that album. But that's an album I was playing a lot as well, too, at the end of last year compared to some of the other albums. We were like, oh, yeah, album of the... And I guess it was, in a way, an album of the year contender in that top tier, for sure. But this will be one that, again, we're going to be revisiting a ton. We're going to be listening to this. This is going to get all the minutes compared to even if you're like, oh, Hurry Up Tomorrow is still the pinnacle of an album for like a hip-hop R&B album for this year, or with what like Key Glock did on Glockavelli, if that ranks higher or something, I don't know. But this is still going to get the minutes, though we have been bumping a lot of that Key Glock album as well too. Riggs and Murtaugh, shout out Lethal Weapon, of course. Got the Girl. Let's see what they got. Of course, you do your things with Freddie Gibbs, always taking advantage of the time with the lady. But I'm the Barksdale of my section. Nah, I'm the Mario of my section. My history ain't no mystery. Boy, your bars is under question, under review. Nothing new. Another crew of Freddie clones. He puts more people on the field than puts more players on the field than Jerry Jones. Okay. Leave that man alone. Yeah. Shout out. So, part 2. Oh, and then the beat switch. Verse 1 on part 2. I guess we have... Oh, we're waiting the beat switch here. On this one. Seats with gravy. The DeVille all white. We like smashed potatoes. Tax evaders. Shout to my brother Hani. Did I say that right? Whoa. Did we just rhyme in there with the schemes chat? I don't know. But I just made like 5.1 in Asia. Yeah. Okay. Shout out Freddie. Gen popped to Netflix. I was in the cell making up the set list for my next show. My next lick. I was suicidal with a death wish. Flew her out. It was a... Now I have a baby mama about a set trip. Okay, got a nice little flow from Freddie here. 03. I was in selling Reggie in a box. Chevy on spinners. I got Dope Boy certificate. I'm from the East Side Crime Syndicate. Okay, a little certificate syndicate rhyme is not bad. That is right up there with the Shackton. What did he rhyme Shackton with? Overpass? I'm riding overpass. You got nothing? Oh, Shackton, like Thanasis? Or Joseph Jackson? Oh, Thanasis, Joseph Jackson. Plastic? Oh, Thanasis, kind of plastic guy? Kind of, yeah, it all rhymes. For sure, right, chat? Absolutely. I guess if you say it like Freddie Gibbs, you can definitely get it to work. You a cartoon thugnificant, but I broke the mold? Is this a... Let's see. Labeled himself one of the... Oh, the Boondocks. Shout out, chat. Okay. Loosely based on rap... Oh, Ludacris. Shout out. We don't necessarily... We need to watch more animated shows. Shout out. So, that one... Definitely have heard that one should definitely be on the list. For sure. So, maybe... A shout out and a Freddie Gibbs song would be... the thing to get us watching a TV show. Imagine, we said we were going to watch Snowfall if we were ever going to watch a TV show. But now we have to decide, is it between the Snowfall or the Boondocks, I guess. Which one? Which one has the least amount of episodes at this point? The shortest runtime, and I guess that's the TV show that we'll watch. Because it is what it is at this point. If it's not a movie on... if they do a Boondocks movie... I guess if we'll check Tubi. There might be a... Is there a Boondocks movie? Let's see here. And maybe there is, but just the... Okay, yeah, TV series. I guess 4 seasons, because there's not a ton for Snowfall. So it would be a quicker watch compared to some of the others. I guess there is no... the movie version at this point. The Boondock Saints. But not an animated version of the movie. So, yeah, we'll have to see that. But I bet these episodes are shorter, right? Are these... Runtime 22 minutes? 10 seasons? Still, that's not bad. And on a 20-minute runtime, you could definitely crush through that pretty quickly. So where is this streaming right now, chat? Hey, yo, do we got this on the services anywhere? Sign in to create a watch list. Oh, we got it on Max. So, yeah, not on Tubi. Shout out. But if we log back into Max, maybe we can watch up the Boondocks a little bit. But gotta stop tricking on every Ruby and Amber Rose. Yeah, I'm still in my prime. I've seen the get old. I got no shoulder left to cry on. Oh, my shoulder's cold. That's what you choose. Yeah. So I was actually just talking about this with somebody at work as well too. And we get the Ruby Amber Rose shout out. And maybe I'm just not. Again, I kind of listen to some of the more, either mainstream guys or even Freddie. While he's not necessarily like for an underground guy, I feel like again, if you're in the know about hip hop, about Freddie Gibbs. So I wouldn't say it's like a crazy pull as a hip hop fan to be listening to Freddie Gibbs. Like if you're a hip hop fan, you don't listen to Freddie Gibbs. I'm honestly shocked. Again, he's one of the best. So it is what it is. But he is I forget. Oh, because the shout out thing. I don't know if some of the newer guys are mentioning some names that I'm just not knowing about because I'm not listening to some of the songs. but it doesn't feel like some of the legends of some of the legends of today, or some of even the legends of like the 20 teens and the late 20 teens, like they just don't necessarily get mentioned in the songs that the way that people used to shout out people back in the day. And again, I'm not trying to say like, is there a way to kind of, but it still feels like there was an appropriate way to do it. Like the amount of times that, and I'm not saying that, there's obviously legends that are, just legendary statuses that are never going to be supplanted by anybody. But there are, the amount of times that people would shout out like Nia Long or Halle Berry, or, again, shouting out like Ruby and Amber Rose as well too. But it doesn't feel like the names have been updated as much as, and again, it's not like there's a lack of, celebrity crushes throughout time, but that kind of thing being, those kind of names being lived on, like the consensus names like that being lived on as celebrity. And maybe that does go to sort of just where we're at with celebrity in general, like that, where, we go with this through movie stars and just like, I'm kind of breaking it down to a little bit more different of a thing, like the celebrity crush sort of version of it. But again, you sort of get the funnel effect of fame from back in the day, where it would just be more people would know about these more famous names. So, even the celebrity crushes and those type of names as well too. Maybe it was just not fewer celebrity crushes, but just the high profile people were high profile in just a different type of way. But again, it just seems like those type of people, that type of call out, honorary thing in a song. I'm just not necessarily thinking of modern day, like, are people calling out Sydney Sweeney in a song the same way? So maybe people will, 5-10 years from now, I don't know. But like, even like Rihanna, are people saying, and maybe it's a rhyme scheme thing as well too, like Halle Berry, Nia Long, like maybe those fit in. But Rihanna, I feel like you could definitely rhyme Rihanna into a lot of stuff. So yeah, I'm not, we gotta be tasteful and respectful here. But there is also, I think, a lineage and a legacy, in a way, of like these celebrity crush people being referenced in these songs for sure. So I think in it still some of the legends of like the names that I mentioned as well, like Halle Berry is still obviously legendary. Like you should still be referencing Halle Berry in a song. I'm just saying that it doesn't feel like that type of thing has necessarily kept up, but I could be wrong as well too. But we have checked out, like, we checked out the last Ken Carson album. Like, I don't remember, did Ken Carson call out like Tyla? Is there I guess maybe a couple, there have been some Doechii rhymes, but I don't know. So again, maybe I'm kind of struggling to think who are the consensus celebrity crushes like that as well too. It's like, okay, this, I could just give you my list and then say, oh well, I guess they're all famous. Like, yes, it does work, but again, I just don't know if you can see the references being updated like that throughout time. So I'll do more research, I guess. I gotta lock in some more and see what's going on. But I guess DM us at Rem and Sampod. Let me know the shout outs that I'm missing as well too. Or like Zendaya, how like Zendaya in the 90s is, I guess, I can start, are we getting hot takes as well too? I feel like, especially with the actor stuff, some of the legends just kind of become legends in their own right. They get like, oh, obviously there's shades of whoever in this person, but it's not necessarily, and there is obviously a comparison of it as well too, but it's a little different than the sports thing in a way. But especially from the celebrity crush status, again, it's not necessarily a comparison thing. It's more of a welcome to the pantheon of celebrity crushes. But again, like Zendaya in the 90s, there's just like, I feel like a ton of references and a ton of rhyme schemes based around that name, and she's just shouted out in a ton of songs. And I just can't think of her being, I can't think of anybody saying Zendaya in a song these days. So again, I'm not, it's like, okay, well, what are the names what are the consensus names? But I feel like that's pretty consensus. That's about as mainstream a celebrity crush as you can get right there. You've got between the, the Dune franchises, the Marvel, Euphoria. Like, I mean, there's not really a segment of the entertainment culture that I feel like she hasn't necessarily crossed over into, and the different types of fandoms and stuff like I just like there's just I don't there what person doesn't have a crush at this point on again like Zendaya or Sydney Sweeney or something like that, but those just references aren't necessarily I feel like being held up. So somebody we're calling out the game, more celebrity crush references in rap songs. Or just again, run back the old names. Run back Neil Long. Run back Halle Berry. Run back whatever classic name you want to pay homage to. But or even mix up some Rosario. Can we get like a Rosario Dawson? Like Rosario, I feel like that would be a fun one. You don't get rappers rapping Rosario. Jid, if Jid don't got a Rosario rhyme scheme and God don't like what do he keep saying? Of course he does, Chad. So I don't know why we're phrasing it that way. But God does like ugly. So I mean what's on the table, I think, as time goes on, is just being not paid homage to and not being respected in the right way. So. And I guess it goes all the way around, or we're talking from a specific lens, as well too. But we're just saying those kind of celebrity crush. So that's I guess even the beauty of 2025 is you can go any kind of direction with your celebrity crush reference. But it just seems like it's being left off the table. Like Tom Hardy, like nobody's just gonna like Michael B. Jordan. Like you would assume that. Again, let's look at it the other way. The Michael B. Jordan would be another guy. It's like, oh, maybe anybody should be shouting out Michael B. Jordan on a song at this point. Like, who doesn't have a crush on Michael B. Jordan? But this, just again, the names, they don't get mixed in the same way. So I don't know. As time moves on, is that not trendy in rhyme schemes in 2025? But I say bring it back, chat. So I'm glad that at least Freddie Gibbs is got the rhyme schemes in there as well too. But yeah, so that was, I guess we were just looking at the lyrics for track 1. Yeah, I think we're on track 3. Are we on like track 5 again for the re-listen? Hey, yo, it is what it is. Okay, yeah, so that was track 1. Mar-a-Lago for track 2. Let's see what he is saying here. Oh yeah, the East Crime Syndicate certificate rhyme scheme, pretty killer from our guy as well too. So wait a second, let's get the genius to load here. It can be a bit of a struggle sometimes. Got the Escalade. Okay, shout out. DON federal agents parked outside my street again. Yeah, all black whips. I meets the fleet again. Got off that dog and swerved that C again. Wrapping it up, stacking it up. If I see my buddy, I'm clapping him up. Hey, yo, Freddie Gibbs, he's not messing around, chat. F around, throw a grenade, and blow your casket up. Don't gas him up. Whoa, chat, it's not even enough for your guy to blow the casket up, too. Hey, yo. Freddie Gibbs is savage. Always going the extra mile in his bars. And he is, let's see what Freddie Gibbs has up for acting gigs as well, too. Because I know, of course, he's talked about being on the set in previous projects. So let's see if the IMDb has some potential upcoming work listed for a guy. Ooh, there is one. Night Patrol in post-production. Ooh, what is this? An LA cop discovers a local task force is hiding a secret that puts the residents of his childhood neighborhood in danger. Directed by Ryan Proz. Dermot Mulrooney, Justin Long, Nikki Michael with an EAUX ending, CM Punk, Jermaine Fowler, RJ Seiler, Flying Lotus, Freddie Gibbs, YG as well too. So we got a fun little cast for this one. Dermot Mulrooney as the star. But Freddie Gibbs, again, Freddie Gibbs could be in kind of a street movie, I think, for sure. If he was in like a crime type movie, like a crime thriller, I think he could be running around, with like a white T-shirt. Get like it starts off clean, and then at the end of the movie, Freddie Gibbs is all like torn up and shot up and bloodied and stuff. And I don't know what goes down, but he does have those. He does have a good, I think, actor vibe as well too. I can't necessarily say I've seen him actually act in anything, but I could see him, especially maybe put in a couple of roles, get some reps in, and I'd be buying up a ton of Freddie Gibbs acting stock for sure. Maybe we cook up a little Freddie Gibbs movie as well too. Do we cast a gangster movie with Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist, like a buddy cop? Is it a buddy cop crime movie? I guess it would be a buddy cop movie, a buddy crime movie, or they could be like a corrupt cop. It could be like is it a gang related remake, chat, starring Freddie Gibbs in The Alchemist? The Alchemist in the Jim Belushi part, we're really giving him a lot of heavy lifting to do in a potential acting debut, and I don't know if The Alchemist would be the strongest acting of the two. Like, I mean, as great of an actor as Tupac is, I mean, again, I would have all the acting stock, and I think he's great in that movie as well too. I mean, you can't deny that. I mean, Belushi's throwing heat and gang related, obviously. So, I mean, which actor could have been Belushi? I don't know if that's a long list and gang related. So, I don't know if Alchemist is up for the challenge, but and Gibbs in the Tupac role as well too could be interesting. I don't know if that would be Gibbs's first type of role he would want to play. Maybe it's like gang related, but the Tupac guy's a little bit more committed to the crimes. I don't know if that kind of back and forth tension is what the movie needs to kind of keep the other cop off balance as well too. But I just feel like Tupac in general, or Tupac too, but I feel like Gibbs might want to, be a little bit more in the crime side in a movie. It's just saying it in a movie, not saying necessarily anything else, but in a movie, I feel like he'd want to lean into some of the other stuff. But shout out. So wait, is there a Mar-a-Lago reference in here? There is. Gibbs compares a federal raid on himself to the FBI search of Mar-a-Lago. The line highlights his defiance and draws a sharp parallel between street surveillance and political scandal. Freddie Gibbs always, making sharp political observations, suggesting neither he nor the former Prez give up anything under pressure. Okay, so shout out. I was like, okay, hopefully Freddie Gibbs is not getting overly political on this track. It doesn't seem like it. Our guy, just for the most part using rhyme schemes. I don't look past like I'm Magic. Behind the back like I'm Patrick. Ooh, Chad, a little behind a little Patrick Mahomes. Okay, shout out. I feel like Patrick Mahomes is a little, I don't know. I feel like he might not be the most not shouted out NFL player, but also not crazy. Again, some of the newer NFL players, not necessarily, like even Lamar. Like, do we see Lamar being shouted out in a ton of songs? I'm not sure. Like, maybe, you could definitely Josh Allen or, like, Joe Burrow. I'm sure Joe Burrow could get referenced as well. But maybe it's just the cities that these guys play in and then the cities that the artists are from as well, too. Because maybe you get a guy like Michael Penix in Atlanta, if he hits, like, a Pro Bowl. I was gonna say an All Pro level, but it's not like that's a little bit different than like an All NBA level in the NFL, especially the quarterback position. It's a little bit more like you get one or two guys in that spot. But if he gets in that, bottom of the top 10 type area for quarterback play, being in the South and being in a city where you have more artists like that, maybe he gets more likely to be referenced. Or, obviously if Jackson Dart in New York, if any of the New York guys want to start shouting out Jackson Dart, potentially, or, intercept him like I'm Jackson, never throw a pick like I'm Jackson Dart. I don't know what the rhyme schemes are going to be in a couple of years. We know what the training camp highlights have been like early on. And for some reason, the other night, I got the clip again of him at the training camp with Gruden, where Gruden is asking him about his snap count, and Jackson Dart is just like, okay, just, one clap, and that's basically it. And Goon's like, okay, so for 4 years you've been basically running one clap as your snap count, or for however many years you've been running one snap. He's like, what if you want to run a fake snap? He's like, okay, well, we just do 2 claps. And he's like, oh, okay, we got a real, genius guy over here at the quarterback position. So shout out Jackson Dart. I mean, I got Jackson Dart stock for sure, but maybe a little less at one point than we did in the season. But yeah, so shout out a little Patrick Mahomes reference on that as well. And you get the federal agents reference again on that track too. So lemon pepper steppers, track number 3. Not a lot on the explanations for this one. Smoking ops walk down your block. I'm in shock. Wipe his nose. Tag on they toes. I just knocked off his socks. Whoa, Freddie Gibbs. That's like a fun little rhyme scheme there. Put him in stock. Put him in shock. Knocked off his socks. 100 shots. Came right back at us. Same day. Ain't nothing. Drop. Send your shooter back to you shot. Tell him you effing flopped. Just say my name, Mr. Insane. Crack on my razor blade. Whoa, Freddie Gibbs. Is he? I guess he's doing the line off the razor blade, I guess. But break it to the left. Put the gang on my chest. That's the cradle to the grave. So shout out a little cradle to the grave reference in here as well too. Took it to the west. Had my own cash on deck. As soon as we landed, shot for the Fetty. This mafia boy. You don't understand me. Y'all tried it though. Okay. Shout out. Okay. Well, we get the smoking dope fresh off the boat. Run that back for verse 2. We got a little Nancy Reagan reference here, Chad. Chad's throat wants to go. Yikes. But I give you something about rope and climbing and choke. I don't know, Chad. Hey yo. Freddie Gibbs. We might have to close the blinds on Freddie Gibbs for this verse. But shout out Freddie Gibbs, always living in luxury. Tried to break him down, trying to block my blessing. REVs and i7s turned my garage electric. Too cheap to cop a Bugatti, too gangster for a Tesla. After church in these lemon pepper steppers. Freddie Gibbs is a nasty guy, chat. Freddie Gibbs. Hey, yo. He's a freaky, freaky man. Ensalada. Lemon pepper stepper. Shout out. Ensalada. It's a lotta. That's how the track starts. It's a lot of cold nights. Hunger pang. Hunger pangs? Water whipping. Some cooking kang. Robbing when it ain't slang. It's a lotta. Cold tears, hard times. Murder can't stay off my mind. Ain't no love, she gon' reside. Reside? Waking up to cold sweats. I'm soaking wet. Ain't got the stomach or mind for this. You ever had to work this dope line? Seen your homie mom stand in line? It's a lot of choppas. A lot of dirty guns. It's all fun and games. Till you need to bail out and ain't got the funds. Oh, chat, that is a bummer. You got the choppers, the dirty guns, but if you don't got the funds, that's a tough one. Only coming round, me when you're down on your luck. Ask who I trust. I trust me. I could never trust no one, I guess. Popping in another clip. Yeah, that's not trust there, chat. If they catch me slipping, least I never ducked. Oh, Freddie Gibbs, chat. That's good. See what I mean? Freddie Gibbs, if he's in gang related, chat, he's committing. Jim Belushi's like thinking or I guess Alchemist thinking he's going to have to talk him in, and Freddie Gibbs just keeps improvising the script. He's like, no, let's do this crime. Let's I'm all in. Alchemist is like, okay, let's go. But get the switches. Got mixing up the fence. Oh, Freddie dirtied up the dishes. Oh, Freddie, we don't like to hear that. But Freddie always again going over the line in his lyrics. It is what it is. But customary obituary. That's the line, chat. Mixing up the fence. It is what it is. Customary obituary. Putting your inside a homicide edition. Whoa. I guess, small town newspaper, we only just got the one obituary section, but is that a large town paper thing? Like that's do you have just a homicide section? In the Freddie Gibbs newspaper you did. So again, adding to the movie chat, a homicide section, but in the drop on 26, Freddie Gibbs a little sexual at the end of the verse there for our guy. Oh, Anderson .Paak on the chorus on this one. That's right. Help me get away from this godforsaken place. You should run away if you ain't really ready. If you ain't really ready for the way I live. It breaks my heart to see gangsters turn to angels. I guess angels, like, I guess afterwards, Chad. Hey, I was gonna say, that wouldn't be I guess maybe, I'm not judging a lifestyle, but I'm for their own sake, going clean might not be the worst thing, but I guess probably not the type of angel. Well, I guess I get in a better place, but still, and I guess there is heaven for thugs, Chad. If we're seeing gangsters turn to angels, that's a good thing. But yet I'm still graceful, still of course getting good memories. But he brings it. But still, Chad, just to remind you at the end of the verse, it just doesn't matter. Help me get away from this godforsaken place I'm in. No flatter. Pay the driver to go the opposite way to Vegas. Hey, yo, so Anderson .Paak turning this into a scene from Swingers, I guess, with the Vegas drive. But Freddie Gibbs, back on verse 2. Diary Confessions of a Killer. I see dead faces with my eyes closed. Never really met a plug. All imaginary Pablos. Ooh, eyes closed, Pablos. That might be up there on the rhyme scheme one as well, too, Chad. That's kind of fun. Diaries of a Confession of a Killer. I see dead faces with my eyes closed. Again, what does he say on the gang? Steady ducking calls. Eyes closed. Okay. I like Pablo's better, but what's the? Oh, it's the Meryl Streep, and it's just, I was thinking, like, what movie is I just was listening to him talk about, but they were just doing It's Complicated on the Rewatchables a couple weeks ago, and somebody in that movie has a line about I don't speak Pablo or something like that. So hey yo, but so I don't know. Do we get a Meryl Streep inspiration on the Genius? It doesn't look like it, but let's see here. That would probably be most of it for that song. So shout out. So Ensalada, I guess not really mentioned on the track itself, but Empanadas in track 5. Let's see what we get here. On my 67, in my 72s, blue suede shoes, Ben's seats, make her pat her feet to the concrete. Okay. Who's always trying to be Billie Jean me. Wakiki took these hoes on trips, came to blingy, she too clingy. We do get a Henry Hill bar in here. Treat her like Henry Hill. Got him sniffing, mixing, sniffing powder. Hey, yo. Gotta go home. Baby mama making empanadas? There we go, chat. Gracias de nada. I'm blessing tables saying grace. Shout out. So, I mean, we don't get the Henry Hill, she threw my Coke in the bathroom. That would be a good bar as well, too. Chat, we're just writing rap songs here tonight. We go, a Rihanna reference, and then Henry Hill, she threw my Coke down the toilet, maybe. The choppers above the house, flush the toilet where the mouse is down the... You see, Chad, we need to get an actual guy in here to know what the bars are, but we just kind of prompt them. But, like, Freddie Gibbs is like the Chat GPT. Chat Gibbs BT. Chat Gibbs BT. I don't know, we'll workshop that as well, too, I guess. But, Miami and Buffalo, chat. Freddie Gibbs has got a, worldwide reach, I guess. Something with the soccer? She's just watching soccer. Shell. Hurt me so good in Bali. Whoa, might bring her back. He's gonna run it. Oh, whoa. If she got pregnant, I'll teach my son to shoot like T. Morant. I'm courtside, drunk AF, like I'm T. Morant. Oh, chat, we get a T. Morant shout out. That's fun. That is fun. I gotta say, T Morant, is that the first time that one's been called? That shout out T Morant, that he's been called out. I feel like Ja has been shouted out before. There's no way that Ja hasn't been. Well, I mean, Ja's definitely been. I was like, okay, what's a bar and what's just a bar on like Instagram that we've seen, but I feel like Ja has definitely been referenced as a player, and in some ways, there's been a shout out. But hey, yo, Chad, shout. I mean, so I guess if you wanna have a point guard like Ja go to Bali, is what Freddie Gibbs is saying. Caught the ball in Barclays Center, should have dunked it. Never catching feelings. Something. Whoa, put in a system, get a government job. Hey, yo, Freddie Gibbs, go work for the FBI, detectives or something. Work my mother effing nerves. A little Samuel Jackson from our guy, Freddie Gibbs. Oh, but then I love you, baby. I need you, baby. Don't leave me, baby. Shout out Freddie Gibbs. You'll love to see the dichotomy in a song like that. And at the end of the day, are the empanadas? How did those turn out? But I'm a nightmare walking, psychopath talking, black bald-headed Jesus. I'm hanging on the cross. Industry crucified me, but I stay bouncing off it. Wait, are we? Oh, I thought it just jumped down on the scroll here. But last dawn, magic wand, put it in my palm. Call the police. Tell them it's a false alarm. Kidnap your moms. Whoa! Trying to keep it calm. So Freddie Gibbs is like the guy in Lex Luthor and Batman versus Superman fighting each other. It looks like kidnapping parents over here. But before I leave the house, say all my duas and masalas. So I'm guessing those are his prayers. Chat, and it's gotta be. Yeah, it is. Okay, shout out. But I survive like Easter Sunday. Rabbit on the rise. Cowards die, thousands deaths. I got 1,000 lives. 1,000 degrees. I crematory them. Squeeze the poison out of the scorpion. Mandalorian. The sugar. No sugar there. The space cane. Push space coops. The cappuccino colors. The space cane, push space coops, cappuccino colors, suede roof, 99 deuce, retail therapy. Fronted the homie workman. The best part is when I just can't get the flow on the reading of the lyrics. It is what it is, especially when it's a new song. And it's like, okay, I don't really know what the song is at this point. But Magic Dawn, Last Dawn, Magic Wand, best ever, King Kong, Papa the Rolling Stone, move like Big Perp, work with the work, coke in the carry on. Oh, a little carry on wordplay there. Oh, chat, we got Gibbs on the stereotypes in the verse. Who is he? Jay-Z in the 2000s? Come on, Freddie Gibbs. What are we doing here? Last Dawn, Magic Wand, Pimpin' Megatron. Whoa, Pimpin' Megatron, chat. Is that a character in game related to Pimpin' Megatron? Maybe. But courtside view, Freddie Gibbs. I guess Freddie Gibbs is a basketball fan, as we know, with the T Morant shout out. So I mean, that's a good shout out as well too, because that's a cut. I mean, you kind of have to know about basketball to understand the T Morant thing. And I like that Freddie Gibbs is like the crossover. Like I feel like you're gonna be like, yeah, my fans are gonna know what these basketball references are. Is there like a Freddie Gibbs? I mean, the genius. There's somebody obviously is gonna annotate the genius and lock that in. But is there like a ton of people that are like, oh, who's T Morant? But also, you get in some national incidents. Was one of them at a Lakers game? I know the Shannon Sharp thing was at a Lakers game. And T Morant was involved in that. So anything at a Lakers game is gonna get you in the national spotlight as well too. And I guess that's the thing with the Ja, was probably a little bit of a bigger story than just an NBA story as well too. But Kane popping off, skybox full, dropping him off. Now ain't hit it in a minute, and I know she want to feel it. Is this still in this? Are we still in the skybox here, chat? Hey yo, we went from a courtside view to the skybox, but I guess Freddie Gibbs can afford anywhere in the arena. Shout out. But, oh, and back to the courtside view. You know, keep a courtside view. With a rule like you. I don't need no daughter. Have me standing on this paper like I always do. Okay. Like I always do. Rock a picture. Never see call a gun. Blow 20,001. Let it fall on you. Shout out. Oh, Larry June on this one here. I played the cliff in the city, DC, Philly. Shopping, taking pictures. Left with a 50. Scanning every call. Every trap was a 5-star. Order room service. Check trap. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know if you said it like that, but switching up the pictures on that. We doing no calls. Green dot only. We ain't effing with them. Credit cards. Knock some fresh game added to my catalog. Choose up, baby girl. Me and you can go far. What's happening? Okay, so, you know, Larry June kind of going back and forth with him. Pause on some of the hook stuff as well, too. Not necessarily the most, you know, crazy verse from our guy, Larry June there. Should we go, wait, which one is Jid on? Is that Gold Feet? Yeah, it is Gold Feet. Okay, should we just skip to Gold Feet and see what that track lyrics look like there? I guess here, let me get I got a couple internet tabs up here. Okay, wait, back to Gold Feet. Let's get this Jid verse up and cooking and see what he says. And I guess it's perfect timing. Somehow we timed it perfectly that his verse is playing right now. Bro, I'm coolin', looking ghoulish, feeling great. The flow is fluid. Flames fires in the nighttime, dancing around the barrel bangs. Laying in the bed you made, gangsters in my DNA. Jeans through the seams, tailor-made, it's hard to fabricate. Back to back with stacks of platinum plaques. You know my resume. Lil Buddy was slanging and catching plays on the east side in a leather A. Beating the block with heavy bass. Fleeing the cops. Scheming on them in a ski mask. In the summer inside the city. Don't care if you see him or not. It's insidious. I'm in Italy. Let's be serious. I got experience with the series. I like play for the big leagues. Okay, I'm feeling great, feeling good. I fill the tank, hit the bank, get a dub, F a vape, fill a pape, full of bud, take a drag, take a drink, drawing blanks. What's your name? I forgot what it was, but what a day. With my head in the clouds, moving around. Thought it only was us. Don't counter the camera. Then chill in Mechanicsville, cooking the chemicals. Kamikaze, no cannibalism. He caught a body. Ain't know what to do with them. I think about it back when we was just little. Now I'm excited and it's on for a milli. It's kind of crazy when you do the comparisons. Really, because both of us making a straight killing. Jid chat. Hey, yo. I mean, he's literally got like 4 Larry June verses right here. It is what it is, but anytime you give Jid the space, and with his album right about to drop as well, too, you know that those verses are going to be extra locked in as well, too, leading up into that. I mean, I'm only halfway through this one. This is crazy. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I'm straight, my boy. Too many people can't relate, my boy. Okay, I shift shapes. I ain't shooting they throwing shade. I'm throwing a fist like Sugar Shane. They were asked, how's your day? How are you? How are things? Am I going insane like Howard Hughes? Cause I can cop a plane like Howard too. Ooh, chat. There we go. That could be the bar of the album right there. Honestly, that's not even, again, like the craziest bar. That's just a fun bar right there. Am I go insane like Howard Hughes? Because I can cop a plane like Howard too? On the money chase with the wild goose? I ain't really phased. I follow through. I'm going out like Tower 2? How about you? Look. Finna mix with the... How about you? Oh, chat, the Tower 2 is tough. Chat, it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't know. We say that, we blame the age. the new generation, we just don't understand. But it's a tough bar, Chad. Howard Hughes, Howard 2, Wild Goose, Follow Through, Tower 2, mixed with the How About You? I mean, Jid, Chad, as much as we were saying, like, I mean, we weren't Clay, but Freddie was better than Gibbs. We were just saying he's one of our guys. And against the lyrical stuff that that Jid obviously we're saying that he wins in that category. I mean, he's one of the best currently. But, you know, Gibbs' ability to constantly pick good beats and to constantly deliver great verses on any of this stuff is as consistent and as awesome as any of these guys as well, too. But holy cow, chat. Jid was cooking, especially on the. I mean, and giving you the story as well too. You know, he's always. I love anytime he mentions the football days as well. Little buddy slinging and catching plays on the east side in a leather A. I mean, I always love that kind of stuff, for sure. Laying in the bed you made, gangsters in my DNA. Jeans to the seams, tailor made. It's hard to fabricate. Back to back with stacks of platinum plaques. I don't think. Do we need to run it back and just see how he even says that? As well too, because holy cow, I might just have to go on mute and just listen to this whole verse actually and see what we get. Okay, wait, there's the Jid verse. So, and shout out, I mean, Freddie Gibbs, this is just a fun link up in general. Maybe Freddie's on the Jid album. Whoa. Yeah, it's just back to back with stacks of platinum plaques. Of course, there we go. That makes sense. Oh, and then the Sequelicules bar. I forgot about that. And he's just so good with his quick flow at this point. He's almost so easily just approaching these bars so quickly that I was going to say we don't even get really like fast Jid on this track. But again, he's just the double time and the way he's able to just work through these flows is just so natural. You can tell at this point. So easy for him, chat. Oh, Chad, and then the way the piano keys are just going crazy, just the descending whatever riff is going on there is great with the Jid bars. I hope we get Freddie on the Jid album. That would be crazy as well. I really hope we get that. So, holy cow, chat. What a project. What a project. It's crazy. Like we're saying, anytime with these projects, we need to always, of course, continue to listen on to, especially in more detail, as we get to lock in outside the stream as well too. But once again, chat, I don't know how this isn't one of the best projects of the year. I can't really think of a song right away that stands out stands out as an obvious. Oh, this is not this doesn't work in this way, or whatever. Again, every track on here, production is great. Gibbs's flows are great. The features, obviously not overloaded with features for sure. So when they're spaced in there, perfectly worked in, and this is great. I guess the argument at this point becomes the high points in an album like this, or I think the anticipation and the build up for the Clips album was definitely a little bit more. So, and then for them to deliver on such high expectations, it was just such an impressive rollout and such an impressive cycle as well too. And again, Pusha T and Pharrell are a little bit more popular in some of the numbers stuff than I think Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist are in commercial success. But regardless, in terms of a rapper producer combo, this is right up there in the totality, the start to finish quality as well too. The difference is like their Malice is not on this track list, just rapping like crazy, I guess, is what we're saying, because it does feel like much like the Pharrell production where you go, okay, this feels like Pharrell in 2025. I mean, obviously The Alchemist is not necessarily like recreating back to life in sort of the same kind of way. He's obviously been around and his sounds continue to just be whatever he needs it to be for the project. But he's always pushed it into the 2025, or always pushed it forward a little bit as well too. in the right ways. And for 2025, again, you feel like, I mean, obviously, any type of project can be timeless. Alfredo 5 years ago, it's not like it's aged poorly. It's still timeless as well too. And to even get a little darker with this sound at times makes it a good play off of that original Alfredo. I mean, that album is undoubtedly just a crazy, crazy classic and crazy, crazy difficult to top in quality. So to immediately listen to this track list and go, yeah, from start to finish, they delivered on basically every track, again, off a sequel. How often have sequel projects do that? The album sequels are, I think, a little bit more rare than the movie sequels, especially the direct sort of titling type stuff, for sure. So this might be up there with the best album sequels of all time. Here, let me do a quick best number two. Ayo, pause. Whoa. Best number two rap albums ever. So this is not the best second rap albums. Like the best number two second version of the album as well would be, or maybe that's even more like a mixtape type thing than maybe just a direct sort of studio album. Vultures 1 and 2. Like, is that just going to be surprisingly high up on the list? I guess, speaking of last year, We Don't Trust You and We Don't Trust You. That's definitely a... But again, are those more two-part albums than necessarily a 1 and a 2? And I guess, you've got, like, the College Dropout and Late Registration. Like, there's obviously a trilogy type thing going there. Ready to... Oh, Marshall Mathers? Yeah, Eminem, for sure. He's got Marshall Mathers LP2 is in there for sure. I guess, but he's also got like the Encore and the Eminem show. So it's still like a sequel type thing, but it just doesn't have quite the number 2 title on it. So, again, it's not like we don't consider The Dark Knight a great sequel because it's not called Batman Begins number 2. So maybe I just need to figure out what the correct way to look at that process is, because then that becomes the conversation, like, is To Pimp a Butterfly a sequel of Good Kid Mad City? But I think you could say Good Kid Mad City is a sequel of Section 80, for sure. And I guess, obviously there is storytelling stuff about Kendrick and his career that's progressing forward on To Pimp a Butterfly that you could say obviously sequels the childhood story of what is happening on Good Kid Mad City. But the actual, just, again, overall aesthetic and even the artwork and the branding, all the different, not just is it a spiritual successor in that type of way, but like a legitimate sort of successor. This is gotta be an interesting list as well too. Or like the Tribe Called Quest, like their albums, of course, there's a similar thing going on earlier on, but I don't know if it's necessarily a 1, 2, 3 type of, or Illmatic, It Is Written, whatever, Nas was going with the album cover look there earlier on. Like, it's definitely some overlap throughout his career. So, that's obviously not a rare thing. Most people are using that similar branding for at least a phase of their career in certain projects. But, Jay-Z, for sure has got some number 2 there, because, you got Hard Knock Life, for sure. But outside, I guess, we could just keep scrolling and see what we get at this point. But Man on the Moon 2, is that like also, surprisingly high up the list, but that's also pretty good. Oh, Only Built for Cuban Links. There is Only Built for Cuban Links 2, right? That's like a 2000 and just like a 2000s release at some point. So it would be interesting to just see that list as well. Oh, the documentary 2, and there's a documentary 2.5 as well. So those are definitely in the mix as well. But this is a great sequel to what they put up. This is absolutely incredible. And again, just the opening track Re-listened. I was re-listening to that one, the last bit of that when I sat down off of the break, and I was like, "Oh Jesus, this is a crazy track." So, I mean, once again, Freddie Gibbs with an incredible project, and like we're saying, with what he's now had in this last decade, I guess this was the Alchemist, as well too. But Alchemist, of course. Well, I guess anybody in this involved in this project could use more attention, obviously, but with what Freddie Gibbs has been able to put together the last decade run is one of the best discographies in hip hop. Again, if you're just talking a start to finish album quality standpoint, it's really difficult to beat. And with the amount of work that he's had as well too. So 2015, I mean, if we're going the Kendrick comparison, that still gives you, from T-Pap onwards. So he's still pretty stacked discography. But, and I guess 2015. Wait, is why am I not remembering the release here? 2014 is 2014, right? 2014 Forest Hills Drive. So for Cole, you're looking at like his KOD, and I guess what's the other album that I'm not thinking of? Is For Your Eyes Only is a great project as well too. So that's not necessarily the discography is taking a turn. See, that was 2014. So you're getting like For Your Eyes Only, KOD. The off season might delete later in the discography, but if you're taking that discography versus Pinata, Alfredo, Soul Sold Separately, You Only Die Once, Alfredo 2, Freddie, shout out that again. Freddie's definitely had more albums. He's had put in a lot of work in the last decade for sure, but he's again also delivered consistently every time. And to work with these high-level names, to continue to have the great solo work, I mean, he's established himself for this decade period and continues to establish himself in the 2020s as well, too. We were talking about this with Future in the 20... We were doing the DS2 anniversary about, of course, I mean, as you would expect, his longevity with any of those guys from that era, with the Cole, Kendrick, Drake, Big Three, and how... of course, he aligned with that. But how he has been able to continue to bulk up his discography. And if you were looking at Future compared to the Big Three in the 2020s, like he does have an interesting case as a 2020s guy versus J. Cole and versus Drake. And I think Freddie Gibbs also, just again, in the landscape of things, in the 2020s space, is now putting together a really crazy case. 2 Alfredo albums, Sold Separately and You Only Die Once, is just a crazy run. And when was, it's, Bandana 2019, but was that early or late 2019? Mid 2019, June of 2019. But still, he's 4 for 4 with the albums in 2024. And, that we can really get into all of the guys. I'm sure there's other guys that have 4+ projects. A guy like JPEG Mafia as well, too. Like, what has he had in the 2020s? Let's double check his discography. I mean, this last project, of course, was an absolute winner as well, but was Offline 2020s, Veteran 2018, Scaring the Hose, the collab with Danny Brown, was incredible as well too. So he is up there. Let's double check. So Veteran, the director's cut. So a couple of deluxes here in 2025. But so we got EP, EP2, LP, Offline, Scaring the Hose, and I Lay Down My Life For You. Yeah, Peggy is definitely in the mix for sure. But again, some of the other guys, like, they have the great and it's just how do you want to filter? It's like the NBA stats. How do you want to filter it to best benefit your player? But sometimes there's a benefit to looking at it through those type of lenses as well too. And a guy like Denzel Curry has had, again, like Freddie Gibbs, projects going back. I guess if we're talking, I guess I'm confusing now the 2015 with the 2020s. Because if we were going the 2015 to 2025 run, then Denzel Curry's close. But again, even that still brings back Pinata and stuff into the conversation for Freddie Gibbs. So he's definitely still competing in a big way. That's a close call, however you want to say it. But then you have the entire, discography. But I guess Melt Your Eyes is 2022. So you got Unlocked, Melt Your Eyes, and then, technically one final project ends up being Kings of the Mischievous South. So he's got 3 projects in the 2020s to go up against Freddie Gibbs's 4, I guess. But again, if we go to the 2015, then we get to have the Pinata versus Taboo debate, and then Zoo gets in there, Imperial as well for Denzel Curry. And then I'm pretty sure for Jid it's just the 1 in the 2020s, right? DiCaprio 2 is, I think, 20, because he did 2017, 18, and then 2022 might be the years. Yeah, 17, 18, and then 2022. And there might be like a collab album in here. Yeah, 2020 collab album. So he's got that and the Forever Story. And, God Does Like Ugly could be another instant classic. If he has 2 just really great albums, that could be enough. But, even still, and I know people have been saying this as well, too, like in the process of waiting for him to drop. But, with the way that the music cycle works now, and we got to see, of course, Travis take those 5 years off from Astroworld to Utopia in a studio album, in a solo studio album sense. But he was still, I think, a little bit more active than Jid has been in the period, even though, of course, he's still been definitely around. It's not like we've been lacking from verses and stuff. Still been a presence. But again, if we're looking at the body of work, like a lot of guys just have had a lot of great projects. And okay, at some point, I don't know if it's the album every year thing. Like, I don't know how Jid views that, if there's like a catalog diluting thing that he's thinking might happen, or if, again, it's just his process of making music. But at some point, it's like, okay, well, every project, and for a guy like Freddie Gibbs, like there's a consistency here with every project. Like, there's just no misses. So yeah, I don't know if it's like because again, like, not to always bring Drake up into the conversation, but it's just the easy, example, I guess. So sorry to our guy. We'll be pro Drake when the Iceman album drops here pretty soon. But I guess we hope pretty soon. I don't know if Drake's gonna do the tease rollout that everybody's doing now at this time, where even he might push his album back. Who knows? I mean, it'd be crazy. The one guy suing the label gets his album out on time. But hey, who knows? So yeah, again, Freddie for the 2020s is right there. And I guess, even Kendrick himself, he took a lot of time off. So even in the 2020s, he has only, I guess, technically only 2 albums. They're, both iconic albums. We'll have to see how GNX, I guess, does from a award standpoint. Not that that would matter, but just to see how that also gets viewed in that light. Tyler, I guess, now has 3 albums in the 2020s with this last one, because now he has Call Me If You Get Lost is 20, because Igor's 2019, I guess. So that is 21 or 22 for that release. Because then he had that estate sale version of the album as well, too. So 2021. So, and is Igor itself might be like I don't know, we're always thinking end of the year for some reason for these releases, but Igor might actually be an end of the year release, or I'm just wrong again. We shall see. Oh, it's May. Who cares? It literally is what it is. Eventually, I'll stumble on the album, and I'm like, oh yeah, this one was actually the end of the year, so technically it's the next year. But so he has Call Me If You Get Lost, Chromacopia, and this what's it called? Don't Tap the Glass as his 2020s run. A pretty stacked discography as well. We gotta put Don Toliver up in the mix, chat. He's got Hardstone Cycle. I guess what has he got? All 4 of his albums in the 2020s at this point. Hardstone Psycho, a certified classic. His feature work always stand out. The F1 soundtrack, Lovesick, Life of a Dawn. Yeah, shout out Life of a Dawn, chat. Hey, yo, we'll go back and bump that up a little bit. Heaven or Hell. So Don T, album artist of the 2020s, is he in the mix? And like we say, Future, Metro as well too. I mean, Metro's way up there. I mean, of course we said Travis as well too, but even Travis, I guess has just the one. Am I missing a collab album? I guess now he's got Jack Boys too, so he's got 2 albums in the 2020s at this point. But Freddie is leading the way. Does anybody have as many albums in the Freddie? In the mainstream where they ASAP Rocky has 0, so maybe he adds his name into the mix as well too. Maybe he knows this album is so good that he can just be artist of the decade on one album. ASAP Rocky's got it locked in. This is transit, and I guess Playboy Cardi's got 2 albums. If we got to put the influence in there, chat, we got to give him. We got to make sure the conversation pays respect to everybody. So, he's in there as well too. But Freddie Gibbs, chat, a certified banger for sure. Pause. Hey yo, it is what it is. Certified hit maker, certified album, certified classic maker, I guess, almost, in a way. Like, who is a guy like him that, again, you would look at it and go, because in the 90s any point has its combination of, oh, this is the guy that was getting the commercial success of the time, but this guy's just as good, and now, both of the albums may sort of live on in the same sort of way. But also you go back and look at a lot of albums that maybe, again, don't have the sort of same mega classic status as some albums do now. You go back and look, oh yeah, this was a great album, and it did great numbers in its first week, and there was hype for it and all this different stuff. And, it's just kind of in the shuffle of time, like the mega superstar ones are the ones that end up living on. But with what he's been able to, again, from a consistency standpoint, is just a unique work ethic. And yeah, again, it's just that would be my own lack of knowledge of the numbers and how all that stuff aligns and what a good comparison would be for history as well too. But it is a good, of course, just awesome addition to the catalog for our guy Freddie Gibbs, and for the 2024 rotation as well too. So shout out. This was exciting. I got so excited for this Freddie Gibbs album that I just forgot that there was a Fantastic Four movie that dropped this weekend. So shout out Pedro Pascal. I guess he's not making an appearance in the hip hop world today, but we imagine that. I mean, I'm just, Pedro Pascal just on the interludes on somebody's album that hasn't happened yet. I'm a little shocked, but I think the next live stream we do in honor of the Fantastic Four, I'm gonna get a co-host that just massages my back of my neck every episode. It is what it is. Shout out Vanessa Kirby. So can't wait for seeing that movie in theaters or on Disney Plus in a couple of months. We'll just have to see what happens. But tonight was gonna be for our guy Freddie Gibbs in The Alchemist, in the return of Alfredo 2, and another great project from these guys, always delivering. So shout out to them. Shout out to you guys for jumping on with us tonight. And like I said, we'll be back this weekend. We'll be back Sunday for our Sunday live stream. You guys can join us here on the YouTube for that. You can find the live streams up on the podcast feeds as well too. So they'll be up on Spotify. They'll be up on Apple. They'll be up on all the different platforms. So you guys can access them there. And if you want to message us as well too, you can send us a message at the REMINGTOM Pod on Instagram. The DMs are open over there. So we definitely love to hear from you guys if you want to send us a message. But otherwise, yeah, stay tuned. We'll be back this weekend. We will see you all on Sundays.